Alrighty, so going to start off today with a bit of a retcon. Kind of the end of last session, you guys had left the palace, whereas I think it would probably be better if you heard the quest idea from Lucius's mouth himself. So we're just going to rewind about 10 minutes or so after kind of Dolasar. I keep on getting that wrong. Just keep on getting these dragons.
They're all the same.
After Ruland's little revelation, we'll kind of go from there. So you guys are escorted back into the kind of audience chamber where Conrad and Lucius are waiting for you. Conrad here tells me that you are slayers. Is that not the case?
Someone else do the talking, please.
Yeah, that's generally the way things go for us. Sometimes we're slayed, sometimes we do the slaying.
Well, as it so happens, I have a task, but I could use resolving from people of your profession.
Tell us more.
It has come to my attention lately that there's been a long-abandoned Ilafari fort, not too far from Perwold. It proves to be an asset I'm interested in restoring. The strategic importance of it cannot be overstated. It was not usually my domain, but seeing as its original owner has been, well, shall we say, abstaining from her usual duties, I've taken it upon myself to resolve this matter. I was going to originally send some of my household troops, but it seems like a more fitting arrangement to have people of your ilk do this work. I'm sure you can understand, politically speaking, nobody likes risking guards' lives unnecessarily, especially when there are people who are paid for such things.
What can we expect from this? You sort of implied there that it's going to be pretty dangerous.
I do not know for certain. I did send scouts, but only one of them made it back. He wasn't all too coherent or clear when he relayed the story, but suffice it to say, it sounds like there is indeed some danger lurking there. Of course, you will be compensated to a fair market value for your services, and many things, but cheap is not one of them. You'll find working for me to be very beneficial.
Okay. Triss is going to look round at the rest of the group, given her kind of split interests about what's going on.
Ruland nods his head silently.
Yeah, I mean, Havel likes money. So, I'm pretty game.
Okay.
Seeing you guys kind of nodding amongst yourselves, very good. I'm glad that you have not disappointed me so far. I'm not familiar with your guild, but I have heard of your reputation. Very well. I should suggest a starting price of, let me think. I think 10,000 gold ought to suffice. What say you?
Everybody? Triss is going to just
Ruland nods his head again, yeah.
tune in, to anyone who hasn't outright said anything. Are you okay with this? Are we good?
Oh,
At this point, Havel's just kind of
out
like
of
wide-eyed,
character
stunned,
here, but
like, oh. trying to
out
figure
of
out exactly
character
how we should
here,
get from this.
but Ruland, you know that your medicine will help change your voice too, right?
Yes.
Doesn't mean he wants to
I
speak.
just
to
make
him,
a joke.
though. Mm.
So,
We, yes.
Yeah, in Havel's head, he's like, "Sold!" to the man in the chair.
Tarek, what say you?
well, I'm considering if we can do this job tax-free. I mean, we are in another country after all. And 10,000 tax-free would be awesome.
You know Rulin's
I
gonna
mean,
have something to say about that.
Does the guild have to know?
Okay, and Braxton.
Contract's a contract at the end of the day. It's good. Sounds like good work.
Alright, let's take him up on it then. Triss will turn back, seeing as though she's become spokesperson, and yep, sure. Let's we'll take you up on that. That sounds like a fair starting price for us.
Excellent. You people are making a good impression, and a good impression can always lead to repeat business.
Thank you, sir. That's what we like to hear.
My steward will see to the arrangements and will tell you where exactly it is you need to go. In the meantime, I'm going to continue talking to your friend Conrad here. It seems that he has some travel arrangements that need to be made. As it so happens, I know a few merchants who are heading north, so I'm sure they'll be more than happy to welcome him on their route.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Very well. Good luck. And he kind of again gives you that nod that these powerful people tend to give when it's just, seems that your business with them is done. He very quickly turns his attention back to Conrad. So as you guys are kind of standing there, Yosef again gestures for you to follow him out, and proceeds to lead you guys back out of the palace to the front gates. And when you do get there, he does a little double check to make sure there's no one listening, but he turns to you there, Rulin. He's briefed me about this task. He'd originally asked me to put together a plan to send a party in to clear this castle. He was being a little economical with the truth there. The elf in question, on his return, we had to dismiss him from the guard. His mind was in no shape to continue with his duties. Whatever's there, it seems to be powerful. Don't go in too brazenly. I fear you'll regret it.
Very well. I appreciate the warning.
Now, I'd best be back about my duties before anyone knows that I've been communicating with you too long. Wouldn't want to arouse any undue suspicion.
No, of course.
Safe travels, my friend.
Till we meet again.
So the gates close behind you, and you guys are now in amongst the bustling crowds of Werden. This is, again, a very busy town, city even. This one truly does merit the title of city. And as such, you can kind of get the usual atmosphere you'd find there. People busy with their kind of market stalls and shops, the odd tavern, all that. It's generally what you would expect for a large city, but it's kind of midday-ish by this point. So you guys have to make a decision as to what comes next.
So we're still with Conrad.
Yeah, so Conrad has followed you out. While you were talking to Yosef, he emerged.
So when will your ship be leaving, Conrad?
Oh, well, it seems it's not due to depart for a few days yet, but it's going to be sailing again from the east, so I'll need to probably be off this very day if I'm to make it in time. I would ask for at least a little help getting there. At this point, Titus kind of piped up, "I will take you to the ship." Thank you, Titus. That would be appreciated. So he basically sets off with Titus, and you agree to kind of reconvene in Weirden in probably the 3-4 days' time. It's going to take Titus to do a round trip.
All right, so that right. Okay. So before Conrad leaves, but did he have the payment for the contract, or do we have to return to?
No, you'd have to return. He's not the type to pay before the service is provided.
Well, I mean, we got him to wait and got him halfway there.
Well, that's true, but
Yeah, fair enough.
it's not really his practice to carry large sums of money around.
Nope. Well, from the sounds of things, we have a couple of choices. We can take up the contract that Lord Vernon's given us, or we have the matter of Trista's book to deal with also. Thoughts,
I
anyone?
would dearly love to check out the situation with the book, because you all know I can't resist a book. But it seems super fishy. It seems like it's going to be an incredibly difficult job. It's also probably not going anywhere. It might be better for us to take Lord Fernand's offer.
True. I can't imagine the book would. It's been there for a while. It will probably stay there for a while.
But, you know, if anyone else wants to go for the book, I'm so on board with that.
If things were to go wrong while we went for the book, we may not be very welcome back in Weirden, so perhaps it's best we leave it for last.
I'm agreed with you. If anyone else has any different opinion, probably shout now.
Nope. Illogical.
God damn it, so. Yes, let's go on then.
So, you guys want to do the contract and then the book, or
Yeah, we'll take the
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah, I think it's contract and book, right?
alrighty? So, the location given to you, it wasn't too far at all, actually, from Perwold. It makes you kind of wonder a little bit why it hasn't been cleared a bit earlier. So it kind of branches a little bit off to the northeast. If you follow me to the map, I'll kind of point you to this little cove inlet here, just at the
Nobody
mouth
said it was coastal.
Oh, before we... So we don't... You just tell us where it is. We've not left the city yet, have we?
No, you guys are kind of still debating this with Conrad and Titus and all that. Because you'll probably be able to do the first couple of, first leg, maybe to Perwold with them before you have to branch off.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys are still in the city.
Okay. So I feel we may need to make some preparations before we head off.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Especially with our big friend not around to help us out. We may need to be very careful about what we do.
I thought of an idea. Why don't we interrogate that scout that the king mentioned? That way we could get some information on what we're dealing with.
I think from the sounds of things, he's not really up to talking. Or at least, if there was any good information to be had from him, well, I'm sure Lord Vernon would have had his ways to get it out. Whatever it is clearly dangerous. That's probably the most we'll learn from it.
Well, if you insist. I've just thought maybe some of my potions might do some work on his shattered mind or whatever. But I'll go with the group's choice, of course.
We could potentially go and see him with expectations that we might not really come away with very much.
Okay.
Well, if other people's doing other things.
Where would we look for him?
So for that, you'd probably want to go and speak to Yosef again, just to kind of get that information. He, as captain of Lord Banan's personal guard, would definitely know that. But again, you're not too far from him, so you could probably shout through the gate to get him back.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yosef?
So he's about 30 paces away, and he stops and turns, and makes the march back over. Yes, Rulon, what is it?
The scout that returned from the ruins, where might we find him if we wanted to question him?
Well, I don't think you'll get much out of him, but he lives not too far away. If you follow this street down here 300 yards and turn left 200 paces further on, you'll see a large boarding house. You're looking for an elf named Dalar. But again, I don't think you're going to get much sense out of him.
Even no sense could be something useful.
Well, you're an agent, and you're more than welcome to try. But we couldn't get anything out of him that made even a whiff of sense.
Well, thank you. We'll be off to see him.
Well, again, good luck. So he turns and again begins the march back to the palace, hoping that you're not going to suddenly remember you need to talk to him again.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, anybody got any questions? It's too far. Okay, so we need to do some preparations. We might as well bob via this elf's home, see if there's anything, well, this boarding house, and see if there's anything that we can glean from his head. Do we want to do that first?
Yep. Unless you need to prepare anything, Torek, ahead of time.
Torek's going to look through his bag momentarily and then think to himself and go, well, we don't know what we're actually dealing with, do we? That's the thing that unnerves me. Sure, I could prepare for something, if I knew where we were going, what we were fighting or dealing with, but we don't know any of it. So I guess I'm just going to, load out the generic stuff.
Or whatever. Well, maybe we'll learn something from inspecting him. That was the plan, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the plan. Failing that, I could just make more walloping arrows. And I'll give I'll give a wicked smile.
Right, let's go and see what we can get from this elf before we get any more of those.
Yes, let's do that.
Quick.
The real question is, can we find dragon's blood in Weirden?
Well, we could find dragons
I really
in
wish.
whatchamacallit, in Eventide, so who knows?
That'd be a really interesting idea for a character. Just a dragon that domestically lives in the city and sells its own blood and body materials for wealth.
Just
I'm
that's
pretty
it.
sure there's a dragon that sells its body in a city on DeviantArt.
And that is a line of inquiry I'm going to veto immediately.
Too late, Google's up.
Oh, I'm
Not the only
not in
thing.
the same room anymore.
Alrighty. So, off to see the elf. So, you follow Yosif's directions. And before too long, it kind of leads you to this what appears to be a guest house of sorts, but on closer inspection, you can see that it's kind of listed as as an infirmary. And you can see straight away that the kind of the inhabitants of such such a place, a lot of them are bedridden from what you can see from the reception area, but there are a few kind of weird noises of general distress coming from upstairs. But a quite haggard and looks like a long-suffering half-elf is on the reception desk. Yes, hello. Can I do something for you? Not here to check someone in, are you? I'm afraid we're full.
We are looking for a sickly fellow by the name of Dalar.
Oh, you mean the chap that Lord Vanarn's guard brought in the other day?
Yes, that's the one.
Well, well, you know what? He probably won't even notice you're there. I don't really have the time for this, so up the stairs, third door on your right.
Okay.
As soon as you even start moving, you can see that her head's back on the desk, just trying to sort out various bits of paperwork. You've clearly caught her at a fairly busy time.
So this sort of place, is it like is it like a hospital? It's the mental hospital kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much an asylum.
Okay. Good.
So as you guys, sorry, Karen.
Or does it seem like well run, or is it a bit decrepit and kind of?
No, it seems to be well busy, but you know, from the look of it, it's clean. It's got the staff you would expect to see.
Okay.
Doesn't appear to be run down or neglected.
Okay.
But yeah, as you guys make your way upstairs, now you can start to see that these rooms are more akin to cells, and lots of the inhabitants are clearly not doing all too well. As you walk past the first couple, you kind of curiously peek through some of the slits, and you can see that the walls seem to be padded, and there are just people in there that have clearly seen better days. A couple of them rocking back and forwards, others just repeatedly whacking their head against the wall. But as you come to the kind of mentioned door, you can see through the slit that the elf in question you're looking for here just seems to be lying face down on his bed. As you approach, somebody from down the hall, you can see they appear to be a warden of sorts, approaches. Well, I'm going to unlock the door for you, but if he starts getting violent, I'll be out here. Just give us a call.
Okay. Thank you.
So as the door is opened, you can hear there's a bit of a squeak. And for the room, as you lead the way in, you see no real reaction from Dalar at all. He remains fairly motionless, face down on his bunk.
Dalar, is it?
Again, you get no reaction.
Does he seem to be conscious?
Roll me a medicine check.
Oh, shit. It's 17?
So you go over and kind of go to take his pulse. As your fingers kind of rest on his neck, he quite quickly and violently bolts away from this touch and crawls up into a fetal position in the corner of the bunk, pressed against the wall. What? Who? No, get off of me! He's clearly quite afraid as he looks in your eyes. You can see that there's fear there.
There's nothing to be afraid of, Daylar. No one will hurt you.
There's everything to be afraid of. Just because they haven't hurt me yet, it doesn't mean they won't.
Who would hurt you?
Them, the ones that watch. He kind of seems to be distracted by something above your head there, Rule, and he kind of swats at it. Obviously, his hand just passes through the air.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Yes, you may. So, there's nothing magically wrong with this guy, or even any like lingering presence of magic.
Okay, thank you.
What did you see in Roots, Daylar?
The shimmer. It was so fast. The flash, blue. The red in bursts, and a clunk of metal. I ran. I should still be running. I need to run. Let me get it. He tries to kind of push past you towards the door there, Rulin.
I'll grab him and try and sit him back down on the bed.
Contested strength roll, please.
Okay. Flat 19.
So it's got strong, clearly, but he seems to be just focused on the one thing of getting out of this room. So you don't have too hard a time kind of subduing him. No, please, I can't stay here.
Could I try something?
Yeah.
I have 3 casts of lesser restoration each day. Maybe I could remove any fear from him if it's a
The guy's
ailment.
voice just like trail off for anyone else.
Yeah, sorry, I'm using my phone as a thing.
That's a bit better there. You're a bit louder and clearer.
Cool. Yeah. So what I was saying was, I've got 3 casts of lesser restoration each day. Maybe I could remove his fear.
Yep. So, describe to me how you cast that one.
Well, it is a touch spell technically, so I feel that as Roland is wrestling with this guy, trying to get him down, I'm gonna just like, you know how like like in those old films where like the mental patient's going crazy and
And
they're
they
like,
just
pin him
stick
down
him
and
with a
like just
syringe,
put a
yeah.
needle in him, yeah. Yeah, like Tarek just like goes up to his leg and he's just like there.
So,
The needle in his thigh.
as you kind of approach, Ruland's still kind of holding him, so you manage to grab onto his upper thigh and just jab this needle in. You could see like it slowly starts to work, and the hysteria recedes. He looks pretty spaced out, but he's not, actively trying to run for the door anymore.
Yes, whatever it is that did this to him, maybe it induced this fear artificially, perhaps, or perhaps it was truly so horrifying it could bring an elf to this.
So now, Rulin, you kind of don't really need to keep him restrained, so you back off, and you can see there's a marked difference in him after Tarek has done this. He appears to be almost at a point where he could sleep. His just eyes are fairly His pupils are not really focused on anything, you can tell.
Okay. Daylar?
Well, oh, you're still here. They're not here, are they?
No. Just
Ah.
us.
Okay. That's good.
You were talking about them. You mentioned some shimmers, something moving fast, clunking of metal.
It was too fast. I didn't see. But it came from nowhere. They were massacred. You can see his legs and arms are starting to tremble again.
It's okay,
Do I-
Daylar. You can get your sleep, my friend.
Yes, sleep. I need my sleep. If I go to run, I need to be strong.
Yes.
He kind of looks at you for reassurance, and seeing the reasonably warm smile that you've got, he kind of lets out a kind of deep sigh, and he closes his eyes and curls up again and tries to get some sleep.
Well, that Rulen will gesture everyone to just leave the room. Leave him to it. Don't think we'll get anything more out of him.
Well, we have learned quite a few things. I think this has been successful.
So, as you exit this room, the warden kind of steps forward and kind of re-secures the door. Well, good. You weren't nearly as bad as the last visitors he had, but well, then again, I suppose they were fairly more forceful with their questioning.
Who else has been to visit him?
No, you see, that's privileged information, my dear. I can't really just go announcing things like that, can I?
Of
Not
course.
for free, anyway. You can see that this guy is clearly a bit of a sleazeball and is looking for a bribe here.
Out of curiosity, what kind of size bribes would be standard based on our currency?
For information like this, probably not masses. Probably looking about 60, 70 gold.
All right.
Honestly, I reckon the receptionist might be able to tell us.
Oh, well, Esmeralda, nah, she's too busy. She'd just palm me off. Been overworked recently, that one.
It's not the only one trying to palm us off. Quite.
Well, I mean, I'd be putting my job at risk disclosing information like that, or standards and practices.
So tempted. Quickly gonna tune in to who would have a good opinion on this. Is anyone looking interested about his bribe situation? Maybe Torek. Torek, do we bribe him or do I frighten him?
I mean, we are in the middle of what is essentially a prison complex. I won't frighten him. And also, 60 gold? 60 gold? I can make some walloping areas with that.
Triss is gonna sidle up to the guard and hand over 60 gold.
Oh, well, that freshens up my memory a little bit. Yeah, he's a decent bloke. He was quite a generous man. Tiefling, fairly well built. Came in here with a bunch of his mates. They were a little less nice than you were with their questions. We had to keep a bit of an eye on him. But cracking bloke, said his name was Boris.
Boris.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Did he have a rather strange necklace by any chance?
Oh, you see, my memory's getting a little fuzzy again. No, I can't remember, Gov.
Is there anyone else in the
I'm
corridor?
I'm gonna hold out a potion of boldness and go. Well, I could give you this potion of pure impotency, if that'll help.
Why would I want a potion of pure impotency?
Is there anyone else in the
I
corridor or
was
anyone else
just
around?
guessing.
There's from what you could see, nobody else. This guy seems to be the warden charged with this floor.
I'm gonna attempt a grapple on him to pin him onto the floor and put my hand around his throat.
Okay, another contested strength roll, please.
Yep.
So this guy, you kind of get him completely by surprise. And you manage to kind of get a leg around behind him and trip him up, so he kind of falls flat on his back.
You've had your gold. Now we want our information. Tell us everything you know.
Oi! Help! This geezer's trying to mug me!
Slap a hand over his mouth.
Oh!
Tristan's gonna tune into his brain, and she's gonna shout at him mentally as loud as possible. Just tell us.
I was going to say, Havel will just kind of pull out a short sword, run it up his thigh, and put it very close to a certain area, and just wink at him as well.
They're all a wisdom saving throw here. He realizes it would be probably a wise decision to comply at this point. He's not too happy about the voice in his head. He's even less happy about the short sword at his groin. It's a, well, I thought it was pretty weird. I've never seen the likes of it before. Seemed to have a few body parts on it, from what I can remember. You guys can kind of hear now footsteps of people. They've clearly heard this guy shout before he went down. You've probably
That's
got
up you.
long before they're up the stairs.
You'll explain that it was nothing. You'll keep this to yourself, or we'll let them know that you've been accepting bribes for information. You won't like how that turns out, will you?
Yeah, sure. So a couple of these kind of white-clad elves run up the stairs.
I'll
with
help him up to
nightsticks.
his feet as they're on the way up to make it look like I'm just helping him up off the floor. Oh, looks like our friend here tripped and fell. As one of the patients seemed to make a run for him, but don't worry, everything's under control.
They look to him. Is that true, Terry? Are you all good? Yeah. It's what the governor says. It's all good. He kind of gestures towards Havel, sheathing his sword. He saw a spider and had to kill it. you know I've got the phobia. They kind of just look a bit like incredulous at this, but right. Okay, Terry, you do you. There's like a tense moment as they kind of look and cast their eyes over all of you, but eventually they do turn around and proceed to head back downstairs.
Be well, Terry. And then Raylan will turn and walk away.
Havel's going to turn to him and be like, remember that necklace covered in body parts? You tell anyone, Terry, and I'm going to make my own necklace with your body parts. See you later.
again, this guard just kind of stands there a bit dumbstruck and just watches with his mouth a little ajar as you guys depart and make your way back downstairs.
Maybe that book was looking like a better option.
Well,
Oh, this Alistair, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Well,
what do you want to bet that
to be
these
fair,
ruins
actually, maybe.
are Tildrache in origin?
Oh, just about everything.
Are they really?
Why else would Alistair be interested?
Oh, goody. Well, if we're hot on Alistair's heels, then we shouldn't give up the chase now. Besides, I've been working on a little concoction that may
You know
make
what?
us move.
I think that's the first smart thing I've ever heard you say.
Alright, let's get stocked up. Everybody keep your hands close to you. Let's wear some really thick gloves. And, yeah. Prepare for the worst. What do
But
we
I
all need
didn't
to do?
finish telling you about my concoction. Oh.
Thought that was just one of Tarek's trailing off kind of moments.
Didn't realise you
I
needed
don't
some
like it.
input.
I'm interrupted.
Do you ever hear the story about the gnome who cried safari? Yeah.
Yeah. Cried safari. I like that.
Just people just tune out after the umpteenth morning of listening to it.
How many times do I have to say I've done it again for them to realise that I've done it again? Supplies, yes. With
Yes.
quick-moving targets, perhaps we could find some way of either slowing down their movement or boosting our own.
Based on what's happened to Dalar, I wouldn't rule out something magical of sorts. Just because there's no lingering effects on him now doesn't mean, the magic may have had an effect on his mind that lasted after the fact. I mean, what could possibly terrify someone so much that it breaks your mind? Surely it must be magical.
I would not be so sure.
Some monsters do have innate abilities to affect the mind in certain ways. They are extremely powerful beings.
Oh. So can we do a check based on what Dalar mentioned? So shimmering blue, super fast, clunking of metal. Does any of that ring any bells for anyone or anything?
I would probably say everybody roll a nature check at disadvantage because the information was sketchy.
Okay.
Nah, sure.
That's a 4 from me.
I'm afraid you're going to have to wait for my results a little bit. I disconnected and this laptop's taken a while.
Fuck
Mhm.
me.
That's a 13 from Braxton.
Okay, so that I think it's the highest so far, isn't it?
Give me a second.
They're all double disadvantage for that.
Yeah, that's only an 11, so Braxton's winning.
Yeah,
Could someone? Do you reckon someone else could roll the dice for me?
I'll roll for you.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Oops. Shit.
And
Roll
another
one.
one. That doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter anyway. So Tarek draws just a mental blank entirely at that.
There we go. Oh god, I'm so sorry.
It
Such
was
bad
thinking he
luck.
just
Drawing a blank because he's
carried on
Well,
just
rambling.
drawing a blank
7.
because he's like. He's just drawing a blank, thinking, "Why is everyone ignoring me?"
So at 13, Braxton, you are the closest. You've
Not Trish got
Kinda-
17.
sorry, who got what? Sorry,
Trish got 17.
with a disadvantage.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. In which case, yeah, Triss, you've read a few stories from kind of various fancy authors in your time. This sounds remarkably similar to a creature mentioned in one of them. You can't really remember the details too much because it was, a passing read quite a while ago, but you seem to remember Fae of some sort.
Ooh. Okay. So yeah, it's an animal, creature of some kind, which does stand to reason that it's just an innate ability. But either way, it means that we've got an animal to contend with, as well as Alistair, probably.
With any of luck, they'll both kill each other and we can sweep up the remains.
Third party, those motherfuckers, I agree.
Well, we should make some preparations anyway. Stock up on whatever supplies we need while we're here before we leave.
So, you're in the capital of the Fiery Empire. There are a hell of a lot of shops and merchants here. You will definitely be able to get supplies.
Okay. Actually, Tarek, are you capable of brewing potions of healing?
I'm glad you asked. Yes, I can. And I've just perfected a small addition to them, so they bolster the health for a short while afterward as well. Essentially, since my level up, any potion I make gives temporary hit points as well as the healing.
Oh. So is that one of the ones that you can only make at the beginning of every day, or?
Well, it falls under the same category, so it's the same rules for it. But I can also spend first level spell slots to create them as a standard action.
So there'd be just like a permanent, or would they still only last like a 24-hour period?
They would still only last for like a 24-hour period, but
Okay.
I can distribute them at the start of days if that's what you're thinking.
So how many days travel is it to where we need to get to, Crisp?
About 4.
So we could get the ingredients and then, say, the night before we get there, brew up a shitload of potions and...
Yep, that would certainly work.
That way
The
you
only
start
downside
the
is
day with at full strength and with a few potions ready to go.
Yes. The only downside is that I would be using the reagents that I would usually use for my healing needles. That's the only downside, but it is more potent in this form, especially in the short term.
Right. Okay. That's that.
Yes, I've got a lot of prepping to do with the spell.
So, Torek, this is the kind of city where, like, if you wanted to find maybe a few rarer alchemical agents, you could definitely go and find yourself a pretty well-stocked apothecary.
That is nice.
If you are intent on doing other potions as well, that would definitely be a viable port of call for you. But for the rest of you, I mean, this is going to be probably one of the few places in this continent where you stand the best chance of buying any more of a niche items. You may have to look around a bit longer for them. May take a bit more time. But there's a large quantity of all sorts of merchants.
Interesting.
Oh no.
Similar to what we did in Eventide, could we look for a magical trinket kind of shop?
Mm-hmm. So,
Havel will
Could I
join.
come along on this as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
He heard stories of their night when I was busy telling Braxton about my hand. So
Yes,
So,
when you take a break to breathe.
yeah, so this is definitely going to be a town in which people come to trade magical items that they've either found or have inherited. Yeah, there's a busy market for that kind of thing going on. So you don't take all too long for you guys to stumble into a kind of it's a proper establishment. Clearly a business that's been going for a while. You push the door open, and there's a little ding from a bell, and you can see that there's all sorts of crap in here. Like, there is a lot of items that you would, if you just saw it on a table somewhere, you'd kind of cast your eye over it without a second glance. You're greeted by a fairly senile-looking elf behind a desk. He's got kind of thick half-moon spectacles on. Yes, welcome to my humble shop. It will be sure to offer you a wide selection of the finest magical trinkets and treasures available in the whole of the Empire. What, may I ask, are you looking for today?
Well, just browsing some curios, various bits and bobs. Perhaps you could point out some of your most interesting pieces.
Let me see. Well, everything here is interesting in one way or another, young man. I'm afraid you might have to be a little more specific.
How about something that offers protection? Something you could wear or carry on your person?
So you can see, kind of thinks about this for a while. Protection, you say? Well, I do have a few items that I could potentially sell you for that. Let me go and... He kind of trails off that sentence and walks over to well, it's kind of an armoire, really. He opens it up and pulls out a kind of really quite ornate silver-laced bluish robe. I have this particular item here. It's a fine craft, and it seems to have the aura of protection of which you seek. So out of character, kind of the metagame stats of this item. He's offering you the robe of a Fate Weaver. So the deal with this is, when wearing it and attuned, you kind of gain a bonus to your AC starting at 13 plus your dex. As the robe gives kind of slight premonitions about incoming attacks. Also, once per day, you may kind of use the action of this item to impose either advantage or disadvantage on a roll of your choice.
Oh, that is good.
Does it count as armor?
For the purposes of Titus's unarmored defense, yes.
And rulings as well, yeah.
And rulings, yes. So it would count as armor for that. But yeah, that's one item he has. If you're looking for more, should we say, conventional protection, I have here a shield that might serve you well. Rumored to have been used in the Unification Wars. It's has apparently got quite the tendency to attract arrows to it rather than its wearer. And again, out of character, the shield in question here kind of gives you the standard +2 AC, but also anyone attacking you with a ranged weapon does so at disadvantage. Although not a ranged spell, I should add.
Anyone
I
uses
just
shields?
like that, wouldn't they?
Well, after he's just made his own one, I don't know.
Yeah, Titus has got a pretty decent ship.
Perhaps something a little smaller, and perhaps the defense more against the mind.
Now that is something that I do fortuitously have. Come with me. He leads you down one of the aisles of his store, past all sorts of various items. But he picks up a little circlet, not quite as dainty as a tiara, but of that kind of size. And here we have the circlet of the becalmed mind. It does wonders to calm the nerves. So again, out of character. Circlet of becalmed mind prevents the wearer from becoming frightened, terrified, otherwise kind of, intimidated, but also prevents things like rage or any other beneficial but agitated states of mind.
Immune to mental effects.
Yeah, basically ensuring that your mind remains unaltered.
Ooh, could I try something? Do you mind if I try it on, good sir?
Yes, sure. Please be my guest.
Yeah.
So Torek, it's a little big for you and kind of rests on your ears. But you kind of notice immediately your kind of fever pitch mind and the various plans and ideas for new inventions and potions just starts to fade away, and you're just full of a deep sense of fulfillment, and you're just a very chill guy right now.
Yeah, that is rather nice. Wait, I put this on with the intention of doing an experiment. What was it again? Oh yeah, Triss, try talking to me with the head thing, you know.
Triss tunes in. Oh,
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
yes, hello.
Will not interfere telecommunications. That's
No,
good.
it will. You do not hear Triss.
Oh,
Oh no. Sorry, I was just imagining her voice in my head.
interesting. May I try
Let's
something?
burn it all.
Right, I take it off and
Could I
say,
try it on?
yeah, sure.
So Triss is going to try it on and then try tuning into Torek again.
The same thing happens, Triss.
Ooh. Still can't hear anything. Very interesting. Okay. That could be handy. Continue on. So.
I wonder what happens if you try to look at something with your eye. With that.
Ooh.
Triss is going to turn to the shopkeeper. How much are you wanting for this?
Well, this little beauty. Well, you can see that it's a very effective piece. I'm sure your little friend here will give testament to that. It's also not an item that I've seen before, and so I think for that I'm going to have to ask for a starting price of 275 gold pieces.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to take it down to 225, would you?
Steep, my dear. I do have costs to cover.
Oh, can I do my insight to see if he's trying to rip us off?
Mm-hmm.
Or if there's perhaps a price that he'd be willing to go lower to. Oh, what do you know, Nat 20?
So there are definitely overheads that he has to pay, but you realise that he is still marked these up, and that perhaps 250 would be a more reasonable price.
Triss is gonna tune in. I'm guessing she's probably noticed Rulin doing a bit of heavy concentrating next to her. Rulin, what are we looking at price-wise here? What's a reasonable amount to ask?
I suspect you could meet him in between, say, 250.
Okay, Triss is gonna throw the 250 out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, because you're so lovely, I'll throw it in that little bit extra. And he kind of gives you a very inappropriate wink and hands over the bracelet as you give him the gold.
The bracelet?
There's a bracelet?
It's, jewellery, not familiar.
I thought it was a circlet. Like a
You can
headband.
wear it wherever you want.
Oh, yes, the cock ring. The cock ring of mind block.
We like to call it the cock block.
Yeah.
Can't stick your dick in crazy if she's mentally calm. No. Alrighty. So Triss, you are now the proud owner of this headband. Shall we just go for another description?
Super. Triss is gonna shove it in a basket and motion for the shopkeeper to continue on.
Okay, so having shown you that and kind of got the one sale, you can see he's clearly excited for the prospect of the rest of you forking over some cash. Is there anything else I could interest you in?
Don't suppose you got any powdered diamond?
I'm afraid not, but I know a gentleman who will. If you go to the fourth shop down from here, you'll find a very very skilled dwarven jeweler. I'm sure he'd have something that would suit.
Yes, that will suit just nicely, thank you.
Have a look at him and be like, as you can tell by looking at me, I am both an archer and quite a dexterous fellow. Do you have anything that could, I don't know, improve either of those potentially?
I'm not certain. Let me have a look what I've got in the back. And he wanders into presumably his kind of stock room that contains the items he hasn't chosen to put out up front. And you kind of hear this kind of fumbling around. He's clearly, pulling items out of things, putting them back when he decides they're not really what you're looking for. But he does eventually come back. I don't exactly have anything that will enhance your dexterity, but I might have something that might help you in adverse conditions. Here, try these on for size. And he offers you a kind of a pair of goggles, quite thick brass things. As you put them on, Hal, you see no difference. But as he kind of sees you put them on, he explains, I pawned these off a hunter who came in one day, a bit strapped for cash. He says that they're a wonderful tool for him when he's out in the wilds. It allows him to apparently see through fog as if it were not there.
Interesting.
Well, I could set off a smoke grenade in here and see if that you can see through it.
We will not, young man.
99.
There are some other options. Triss could hold out a hand here if you would like me to double check what's going on with this.
with the goggles. So you kind of hand. I was assuming Havel's going to hand them over to you.
Yeah. No issues.
So as the goggles kind of enter your hand, Triss, you take the time to identify them. And he's not holding anything back from you. These will allow you to see through fog, smoke, and other kind of particulate matter in the air.
I'll explain to Havel, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, not bad. Casting my mind back to any time it's been an issue. And he's also going to be like, so that pretty robe that you were showing my mate, he said it's good for protection.
Well, yes, it seems to be. At least it makes you at least a bit more aware of threats. I know that much.
And what are we talking for it?
Now that one is a particularly fine piece. That one's going to set you back 450 gold pieces.
Oof.
I'd invest 100 towards it. Because, guaranteed advantage to walloping arrow hit and fused would be.
I mean, I like to think at this point I've seen Ruland haggle enough that I could nudge him and just be like, anything, mate.
Yeah, it's not a once a day thing, that is it?
No.
Okay, let's have a think then. Ooh, that's a good. That's 10.
If anything, for a piece like that, 450 is actually a pretty good deal.
I say it does class as armor, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It would be light armor for the purpose of an armored defense.
So you've only got leather armor, haven't you?
Yeah.
So that'll give you a +2 then to your current.
Yeah, so it's dexterity, so it'd be +5, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so you get 18.
You know what? For 450, I've been meaning to upgrade my. I've been meaning to look into upgrading my armor. So yeah, you know what? I'll take him up on said offer.
Okay, so all that is, yep, as you say, going to raise your AC up to 18, and once a day you get to impose advantage or disadvantage.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
To a roll of your choice. So you're probably going to have to make a custom item for that in D&D Beyond, but you can do that as we go along.
Yeah. You can put it in the notes for the item, which is probably the easiest
way. Yeah, that's a pretty decent way to do it. It just saves a lot of faffing around. And then just manually set your AC. Yeah, that's now in your possession, and as he has described, this is a very nice piece of apparel you have on. Kind of dark blue with the edges lined with a kind of silver lace. Material seems to be, sturdy enough to kind of keep out the worst of the elements, but also it kind of flows with a almost kind of unnatural ease, and you find your movements are not impaired at all while wearing it.
It's very nice. That's about right. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Do you have anything that would be perhaps beneficial to a spellcaster, sir?
A spellcaster, you say? Well, let me have a little think. What came into my stock recently? I have this little gem. It's quite an interesting one. And he leads you to another district in his shop, and you can kind of see there's a whole bunch of necklaces, amulets, rings, that kind of thing. But he stops by one particular pendant, and he pulls it out. It's quite a small thing, This here is the amulet of swapping. I believe it allows you to make your spells a little more suited to your situation. So out of character again, I'll give you the lowdown on this. This amulet here is going to allow you to basically swap out one aspect of a spell you're casting with another. So it might be the range, it might be the duration, it might be, the damage type, but between two spells, basically.
Could you
Holy
change,
shit.
like, if it was going to be like a wisdom saving throw, could you change it for a charisma saving throw or anything like that?
Only if you know a spell that has a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Ooh. How much is
That's crazy.
Yeah. How much are you wanting for this, sir?
Now this one, this is a prize of my collection. I'm afraid I'm going to have to charge you quite steeply for this one. This one here is going to be 700 gold pieces.
I'm afraid that's probably a little out of my price range today, unfortunately. Shame. Fantastic item.
That could be our payday gift for sure.
I'm sorry to hear that, my dear, but who knows? It might still be in stock by the time you're back. Because I trust you'll do come again, won't you? A beauty like you, I wouldn't mind having around.
Oh my god.
Unless one of my
Appropriate, yeah.
companions is perhaps interested in it, it does seem like quite the item.
You could swap like anything with the range of Dimension Door, and you could cast like Detect Magic at 500 feet or something like that. Like,
Shit.
there'd be some insane possibilities.
Crispy's like, shit, what have I done?
Metagaming like fuck right there, but that is exciting shit right there.
That is some exciting stuff indeed.
700. Seven what did you say, sir?
700 gold pieces, my dear.
Would you be willing to take a deposit on this item?
Actually, can I do me insight
Mhm.
before we start negotiating? Come on. Oh, yep, that's what was me insight plus 319.
So as you may have already realised, this is quite a good item. It seems that he's actually marked it down a little bit. It seems he likes Triss.
Okay.
Simp!
We can't hear you.
I just love
Yeah, I just muted myself. Wrong way. Havel's going to do something a little crazy because he's actually potentially interested in using this as well at some point. He's going to pull the spyglass out of his bag and explain to the shopkeep exactly what it does. Obviously, allowing a misty step once a day.
So,
to 30 feet and be like, what would you potentially be interested in taking for this, either as coin or part exchange, shall we say?
So he kind of very tentatively takes this telescope from your hands and he kind of examines it without looking into it. And he sets it down on the counter and proceeds to pull out what at first glance looks to be just a fairly generic branch, but he runs it over the item, and you can kind of see that it does clearly something. He seems satisfied. Well, that's quite an interesting little trinket you have there. Well, it's definitely going to be exchangeable. I think if you were to give me that, I could probably knock 300 gold off the price.
And there's something else as well. And Rulen will pull out the coin of all or nothing. Because let's be honest, it's such a fucking risk. I'm never going to use it.
Oh, the fucking coin! Not about that.
This is where everybody realizes they've got all these niche magic items that they haven't
Shit,
used
I've had
yet.
this for ages and I've never used. I've not used that spyglass in so fucking long now.
Use the coin to try and haggle it.
God, why didn't we? No, if we failed, it would increase the price.
Yeah, so I'll show him the coin and explain how it works. So.
Again, the
And think
stick.
of I'll try and persuade him to boost up as well and think of the possibilities with a successful flip of the coin. Anything could be possible. Just try and haggle him up a little bit.
Okay. So,
The perfect way to do this would be to flip the coin on the persuasion.
so he has a
God, that would be the best. Really.
he has a look at this this coin, and he takes this from you, and again the stick comes out and beeps over it. So he seems satisfied by this, and then he takes the coin and flips it. So heads for a success, tails for a fail. Let's. How do I flip that up?
Just double click it, I think.
Or you can press R.
Oh, is that why? Okay, let's go.
That was a good flip. If you do your lift, if you change your lift height to like really high up and then do it.
Let's see.
Well, just highlight it and then press R a couple of times. It's the way you normally roll this stuff.
Okay.
All right, then there you go. That's a good one. All right. Okay.
Okay. So he's basically done what you suggested against you. He's going to use that as a try to haggle roll. So Rulin, you kind of see a brow crease on his forehead there. You know what? I think I might be being a bit hasty here. I could probably get a better price for this amulet. I know a fair few lords who'd be willing to pay for it. I'm going to have to mark that up, I think. Sorry, I'm afraid it's going to, even with that telescope, set you back 200 gold more.
So my query is the coin once per person, or is it just once?
It's twice per day, I think.
Twice per day.
Well, Rulin, got nothing else to lose.
Try and counter his counter.
Okay.
Fucking go for it.
It could end up going even higher. Like, oh, it's my coin flip. It's my coin flip.
I think at this point we can't afford it anyway, can we? So
We would all have to contribute a little bit, basically.
Fails. That's a fail.
Fails.
Alright, okay, so it's gonna cost us like what, 1,500 now at this point?
yeah, I'm just gonna pick up my telescope and be like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, I think we'll keep our business to ourselves.
Well, that's a shame. But I'm sure I'll find a home for it. As I said, I'm sure it'll be flying off the shelves.
And so you're still not willing to take a deposit for the original amount, then? Is that right?
I'm sorry, my dear. We don't operate on credit here. It's not really a good way of doing business.
It's okay, Triss, because when we come back, we can flip the coin again.
Yeah, you two are never flipping that coin ever again. Okay.
I mean, might as well.
I have actually found a magical item in my inventory. I've forgotten how it works.
Oh, you have the teapot as well that
I
you've
have
never
the
used.
teapot. I've used it once.
Yeah, but we never knew if it worked or not. We don't know if it does or not.
Yeah, that teapot's a bit of a liability.
To be fair, I
Magical
love it
item
when
is,
you say use the teapot and Chaz goes,
When you use any niche magical item and Chaz just loses it, yeah. He's just Titus, like magic just confuses and entertains him.
Yeah, you can't really do anything wrong as far as he's concerned. It's all win.
Alrighty. So, sorry, Guy, you were saying you'd forgotten how you'd use an item.
yeah, do you remember the strange magnetic orb we got?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think it's you press the button to attract, you press the button to repulse, right?
Nope. So it's a as Cal says, it's kind of a activated kind of repulsor field, if you will. So you presumably toss this thing, and then it will kind of repel anything within kind of a 5-foot radius of it that's made of metal, an additional 30 feet. And this can be like, enemies wearing metal armor, weapons, just inanimate metal objects. But it is a one-time use.
Oh, I see. It's a one-time use thing. Ooh! Oh, flip! If I knew it was a one-time use, oh shit. Okay. I was just thinking I could have tried to haggle you on my level up to see if I can like artifice replicate it. That would have been so good.
Oh well, maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe not. What if there's not a next time? Current objective: survive.
But yeah, that's how that one works.
Triss is going to turn back to the shopkeeper and say, okay, so that's fantastic, but obviously a little bit beyond our price range. Anything else that would be handy for a spellcaster?
I don't really think so. I don't tend to encounter that many amongst my clientele, I'm afraid.
Unfortunate. I don't suppose you know anywhere else that could be beneficial for us to visit?
Well, I'm definitely the largest supplier of magical items in Weirden. You should always try with one of the caravaneers. They may have found something somewhere on their travels, but I wouldn't really be able to give you any definites.
No problem. Thank you. Okay, anybody else want to have a look at anything? Rulon, you didn't look like you came up with much.
He's just stepped away. So did has the shopkeep actually announced what his current price is?
For that amulet,
Yeah, what is its current price?
$1.5 grand.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been eyeing up that shield since we briefly heard the description. How much would that set a man back?
A shield like that, that'll set a man back 250 gold pieces.
So a little steep for me. Could I tempt you down to 210?
That would really eat into my margins, I'm afraid, my good chap.
Oh, I'm gonna at that moment I'm gonna knock your character's like side of the knee with my elbow and go, don't worry, I can probably make a better one for you.
Well, that's all I have to offer, sorry, so I'll pass this time.
Well, that one's been here for a while, I'm afraid. I haven't had many people looking at it, so do drop by again if you come across the funds.
Oh, I will do.
He's a little. You can see he's a little bit disappointed, but he hasn't managed to land that big sell. But there's still a bit of hope there. Anything else? Anybody would like? I've got a few more little trinkets I could show you. Might be interesting.
Do tell us.
You're gonna bat your eyes when you say that.
Oh yeah. This is gonna sidle up to him a little bit
All
too
three.
close.
All three.
You know what, Triss? Roll me a persuasion. Why not?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think. What have I got? Oh god. Persuasion is +5, so we on 8 here for this.
It seems that this gent has not caught your batting eyelids. He's clearly senile and his eyesight isn't what it used to be. So he's missed that fairly subtle attempt at flattery there. But he leads he leads you and the rest of the group over to a different part of the store. Let me think here. I have this little incense burner here. This is quite a nice little thing. Look at the detail there. And so, again, metagaming details of this. So he's kind of offering you the Censer of Serenity. It's kind of an enchanted incense censer. And when kind of lit and carried, it does take a hand slot, so you only be able to wield like a one-handed weapon with it, but it does grant a kind of advantage on wisdom saving throws to those within 20 feet. Yes, this is quite the item. It's actually, I think, recovered from some ruins in the Northlands. Apparently, it was a religious item at one point.
Do I recognize it?
Roll me a history.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. If I can get to the screen and roll die. Oh my goodness, the score is high. 32.
So, Guy, you recognise this as a kind of censer belonging to the kind of guild of hunters that once resided in the Bastion of Half, which is now a ruin, and the guild is long since gone. So, if you kind of follow me to the map, it's the one kind of north and eastern island of Parthunas.
Okay. That one there.
Ah, the one we went past last session.
Yeah, the one you kind of sailed past.
The one I nearly drowned.
Details.
Ah, yes, the trinket of a fallen guild.
Oh, you know of it?
Oh, yes. It originates from X Island.
Oh well, it's good to have a man of knowledge and history in my shop. I'm sure you'll then appreciate the value of such a piece.
Yes, it was a personally treasured item by he who possessed it, but quite niche for anyone else, sadly. But suppose there is certain value to historical merit, and yes, if there's any other items you're having trouble placing, I could certainly try and help you.
Well, I know most of the items in my shop, and that's good enough for me. Although I do appreciate the offer.
You're what? That's the why you idiot.
Did I give you a price for that sensor? I can't remember.
You did not.
So that one's 200 gold pieces.
Anyone interested?
Not for me.
Not for me.
Not if it takes up a hand when you're using it.
Unless you strap it to your hand with duct tape. Sure, Crispy will allow that.
Yeah, you just have to roll a DC 40 check to invent duct tape first.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. So he looks around and clearly sees a look of indifference on all your faces. Well, sorry, I think that's probably everything that I'm going to have that'll interest adventurers.
Well, I think it's probably past time we start moving on anyway.
I hope your new purchases serve you well.
Me too.
So what did we end up with in the end then? We've got the circlet and
Got a
have a
lovely
got the
robe.
robe. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
AC 18, motherfucker.
Hmm.
Unless crispy means like, because I've got dexterity of 20, I get to add 20 to it.
Yeah, nah, it's not going to happen.
Damn, so close. I mean, can I roll for it? Or?
Not a chance. All right, so you guys, obviously now with your new possessions, take back to the streets of Weirden. It's still, late afternoon time, so shops are still open.
Tarek, did you want some components from the fellow down the road?
Hmm?
You powdered diamond?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, powdered diamond. I've only got 100 gold of it. The amount I'm looking for would usually be about 200 gold. So, I suppose we could try, but no loss if we can't do it.
I guess
What's
we'll go and ask.
What's it for exactly?
Oh, a glyph of warding.
Tarek says that as if everyone knows what it means.
Yeah.
And everyone looking at him blankly and silently.
Oh, and he's going to be like, oh, yes, of course. Essentially, it's a magically invisible glyph that if it gets triggered by a certain stimuli, say a creature walking onto it, it'll trigger and explode or give off a spell that I store into it. It's a wonderful device, but it requires powdered diamond.
And it's a one-time sort of thing?
It is a one-time sort of thing.
200 gold?
That's an
Yeah,
expensive
200 gold, but it could cause a massive explosion that is magically undetectable. And also, it can work as stored spells. The most splendiferous idea to tattoo a glyph of warding onto myself. And so when I get injured, it triggers a healing spell.
I thought you were going to say explosion. Tarek, what's the plan? Allahu Akbar.
I picture it more like a predator at the end. Just
Starts laughing.
booby trap.
Tarek is indeed one ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, so as the gentleman in the magic shop informed you, it's not too far from this jeweler's. And as you get there, you see a kind of dwarf sat with one of those kind of eyepieces with the built-in magnifying lenses, kind of very skillfully setting a few gemstones into what looks to be some sort of kind of wedding band. But after he kind of does that, he looks up and sees you waiting. Well, what can I do for you, Master Gnome?
Don't suppose you've got any leftover powdered diamond anywhere? And I know it gets about the place when you've been machining it.
That's why I've got this here dust belt, and you can see, sat as he is, there's actually kind of a leather, kind of half-meter squared square of leather, one end strapped to his workbench, and the other kind of actually on his lap. And you can see as he points down, there's kind of residual kind of bits of gold, silver, kind of filings, and probably some crushed up diamonds in there too. It's a foolish dwarf who does away with the excess.
Indeed. These are very useful components to those of the arcane nature. Which I'm certainly not. How much would you be willing to part with the scraping for?
Well, he kind of looks down into what he's got there. Depends how much you want to purchase. I've got a couple of weeks worth swept up and stored in a bottle somewhere. But I usually send.
Try his hardest not to smile at that.
I usually send these off back up to be smelted back down. You can get quite a few ounces of gold and silver bullion out of the filings. It's amazing how much can get recycled, really.
Yes. Well, be assured that my use for it will certainly be of a recycled nature. Now, let's talk price, shall we? How much you've got there beneath you right now? How much?
Oh, well, between the gold, silver, and diamonds in here, I've probably got about maybe 25 gold pieces worth, perhaps.
Does the diamond pieces there look like enough to cast my spell?
You'd probably need a tiny bit more.
Tell you what, if you can find any extra diamond for me, I'm very willing to pay up to 4 times the amount you've just told me, good man. So, if you've got any of those bottles with powdered diamond in it, then I will be walking away here a happy gnome.
Well, I'll go and see what I've got in the back. So he kind of locks away the ring he was working on, and gets up very careful not to disturb this kind of leather sheet of his, and he walks back to kind of the bench he's got at the back of his shop. I don't have to keep an eye on you, but far enough away to obviously not be in his way when he's working. And he kind of pulls out a couple of jars and begins to sieve through them using a very fine mesh, you notice. Quite a delicate tool, really. And after a while, he comes back to you with a small pouch of powdered diamonds. Is this the kind of stuff you're looking for, lads?
I will gesture to inspect the powder.
So he kind of holds this pouch open for you to peek into, and it looks to be of a similar ilk to what you're after.
Oh, this is splendid. How many uses do you reckon it's got in it? Would I be able to tell?
Probably just one for the price you're looking at.
Alrighty. Excellent. So, how about I walk away with this pouch for 50 gold? Does that sound reasonable to you, good sir?
Well, there's a lot of diamond in there. That's going to have to go up a bit. I think you're probably looking at best part of 100 for all that.
100, eh? You know what? You're absolutely right. I shouldn't try to... I forget that you actually have a practical use for this outside of my meager needs. Tell you what, I'll give you the 100 gold, and I shall assure you I'll put it to good use.
Or you could eat it for all I care, as long as I get paid. And he hands over the bag to you in exchange for your gold.
That would be very painful. You can't digest diamond.
He doesn't even respond to that. He just goes back to his work.
Honestly, dwarves are so rude. What does he think I want? Sparkly shit as I'm walking off. Honestly, I try and butter him up and be nice. Fucking...
Just love the idea that like Tarek was doing an experiment of being nice, and it's clearly just been a failure because he was dealing with a very corrupt dwarf.
Clearly.
Right, never again.
Never again shall I be nice to dwarves. I'll walk out and then I'll just like go, Roland, I wasn't ripped off, was I?
Oh, I wasn't there, so.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Actually, I'll have a look at it. How much?
Just imagine you just sitting on a fountain eating a sandwich like, I haven't been ripped off, have I? I wasn't there, Torek.
What on earth are you talking about? It just holds out a handful of what to really just looks like regular dust. He's like, Tarek, what on earth?
Magic dust, Roland.
Oh god, he's on the powder again.
Mad gnome.
So yeah, sorry, you've now got enough for one glyph of warding.
Excellent. That's brilliant news.
Alrighty. Anybody else want to do any shopping while we're here?
Would there be an apothecary?
There would definitely be an apothecary, and probably quite a well-stocked and large apothecaries.
I shall head there then.
So, again, looks like a well-established place. This isn't a store, this is a proper shop. And it's kind of staffed by a fairly elderly female halfling. Visitors this late in the day. I was just about to start packing up.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. I'm just looking for something to keep us a bit healthy during an encounter.
Let me think. You'll probably just be wanting the standard healing potions then, I imagine.
Yes, sounds good enough.
Well, let me go and see what I have stored away in my inventory. And she kind of gestures for you to follow and kind of walks over to what looks to be a fairly standard shelf containing what looks to be a whole variety of different bottles, elixirs, and potions. Now, it seems that we've got quite a few here left, actually. And she gestures to these bottles, and you can see that there are various different types of potion on offer. You're in luck. It seems that we even have some of the greater healing potions in stock today. Do you see anything that takes your fancy?
How much would a greater healing potion set me back?
Let me think. Greater healing potion I could give for you for 60 gold pieces.
Sounds good. I'll just take one of those, please.
Excellent. And she kind of tries to reach up. You wouldn't mind grabbing that for me, would you?
Oh, of course.
So you kind of reach up because it was stored a little bit above her reach. But as you walk back to the counter, she's quite appreciative and kind of makes a passing comment about how nice your armor's looking today. So a greater healing potion, that is going to be 4d4 plus 4 healing when consumed. So make a note of that if you didn't already know. And in return for the 60 gold pieces.
I think Rulin might purchase one of those as well.
Yep, well, same price. So
how much is just a regular?
Regular potion is 30 gold pieces, but that one's 2d4 plus 2 HP regains.
Yeah, just a greater one then.
So you hand over another 60 gold, and I kind of pointed back in the direction of a shelf and told to kind of pick it yourself. Is that everything for you today?
Unless you have anything interesting you can recommend.
Well, I've recently got a new potion for helping against baldness, but it doesn't look like you're in much need of that, young man like yourself. Let me think, what else?
Money elsewhere.
So you could kind of see that she's just trying to look you up and down and work out what might be of interest to you guys. I could probably give you a few ingredients of rarity if you're into that field of alchemy. I don't know what you really find interesting.
No, don't worry about it. I'm skint. Got 14 gold in all the world now. Though it was a good investment. But on the off chance, you don't happen to have any dragon's blood on you, do you?
No, I haven't really been able to stock up on dragon parts for a while now.
That's a shame, isn't it?
So she largely, you can see, is an apothecary specialising in treating, various ailments of kind of the general populace here. She's not got too much in a way of specialist potions that adventurers might need ready-made. She's probably got the ingredients for them stocked up, but like pre-combined in a potion is unlikely.
Oh, come to think of it, I might be able to sell her something quite rare.
Possibly. Depends what you want to offer.
I will hold out one of the basilisk poison glands to her.
So she looks that up and down. Is this a? Where did you get this?
Harvested it ourselves, didn't we, fellas?
Oh, you mean the Hydra?
Hydra, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when did we fight a basilisk?
No, not basilisk. Yeah, the Hydra. My bad.
I thought I just forgot an encounter completely.
Just all the cumulative PTSD stacking up.
Yeah.
So she looks at that. Well, it's definitely a rare reagent. Not something I use on a daily basis, but I could probably find somebody to sell it on to. Tell you what, if I buy that off you for 85 gold.
Oh, you have got a done deal there.
She shakes your hand and the exchange is made.
Now Tarek's just thinking to himself, I wonder if the Hydra's decomposed by now.
Yeah.
Fetch some more.
What Tarek's thinking to himself is, I wonder if the dwarf guy has any more powdered diamond. And that leaves 2 more glands for me, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so by now it's starting to get a little bit later. Shops will be starting to close. So anyone with any last things they want to do? If not, then we'll just
No, I'm good.
move on from there, I guess. Cool.
Head back to the tavern.
Yep. So you guys reconvene with Titus and Conrad in the Hoof and Horseshoe, and you can see that both of them have kind of been there seemingly for a while.
Had a few drinks.
Yeah, it looks like it. The mood is kind of similar to the previous time you were here. It's quite upbeat and cheerful. Just a fairly good place for people to come and pass the evening. Greetings to everybody. A productive day, I take it. I like the new outfit there, Havel.
Ah, thank you. I think I look quite pretty in it.
Not the adjective I would have used, but why not? I'm just been explaining here to Titus that I want to be up early tomorrow. It's going to be something that I need to really return to the king with quite soon, but I'm sure that an early morning won't be a problem for you lot.
No, I'm sure not.
No, should be alright.
Well, in which case I might take my leave for the evening. I'll make sure the bill is settled up in the morning, so don't you worry about that. And he gets up and kind of bids you all a good evening and makes the way to his lodgings.
As Conrad wanders off, Havel would like to run up to him really quick and have a very brief word.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to turn to Comrade and be like, Comrade, my good friend, my very, very wealthy friend, I have a proposition for you.
I'm sorry, Havel. I'm not that kind of man.
Oh, you wish, mate. No, there's a certain item that I've been looking at, and let's say until after the Lord, whatever his name is, pays me, I'm a tiny bit short. And I was wondering, since you know how well we do, you know I'm good for it, you could probably get me killed if I don't pay you back. Would you perchance be able to do a loan?
I don't like the sound of this, Havel.
Just think about it. You know where we live. You know what we do. We're good friends with the king and yourself. All I'm saying is, until we get paid by Lord, I just need to borrow it a little bit. As soon as we get back, all of it is yours.
Well, how much is a little bit?
Around about 1,000 gold.
I don't really. He clearly looks quite taken aback by this, little amount of money. I don't carry that much gold around with me. Jesus.
Really? Oh, surprising. 4 men of your stature would.
Maybe a checkbook? Oh.
Yeah. Do I use?
Just quickly need to nip down to the Western Union. Yeah. Havel, no, I'm sorry. I don't have that kind of funds, and if I did, I'd be very hesitant to lend it out, no matter how good a friend you are.
Oh, it was worth a try.
I mean, like, this is, you've just basically asked him to fork out what is, going to be probably about 4 times a living wage for your average Parthunian there.
Yeah, but he's a nice, wealthy man. I thought he might have some, I don't know, just money.
No, well, he doesn't have that much cash to just lend out on a whim.
Worth a try. As you were. Carry on. Sleep.
Yeah, so he heads back up to his chambers, and you kind of hear the door go.
Does he hear the lock sliding closed as well?
I still love you, don't worry. And then I'll go sit back down.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of another night at the tavern, really. So you could do what you like, or we could just call it a night there and get on with the travelling. It's up to you guys.
Triss would like to go up to her room quite early, and she's going to cast Identify on the circlet just to get a bit of a better idea. She's realised that she didn't do that earlier.
Mm-hmm. So as you cast that, it is the kind of circlet of the becalmed mind. The shopkeep wasn't pulling anything over on you there, and it makes you kind of immune to kind of mental conditions, like being frightened or charmed or enraged, but obviously that doesn't apply because you're not a barbarian. At least while worn, it does that anyway.
Mm-hmm. Cool, thanks. And then, yeah, Triss is going to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. I guess we can probably just cut this down and basically speak up if you want to do anything. Otherwise, we'll call it a night.
No, I'm good to go to sleep.
Okay, so true to his word, Conrad has you guys up quite early the next day. So you guys get a good hearty breakfast, sets you up right, and then after settling up, you guys hit the road back the way you came towards Powold. So you spend the next couple of days travelling. These roads are pretty secure, really. they're quite well travelled. Definitely more so than the ones in Parfunis. But as you reach the kind of fork in the road by Powold, Titus and Conrad bid you farewell, and again, you guys kind of arrange to reconvene with Titus back in the same tavern when you're both done with your business.
Mm-hmm.
So they branch off and follow the fork that leads from kind of southeast back down to the kind of the port, whereas you guys take the road leading to the northeast. And as you pass Powold and the area around it that's been kind of secured enough to farm, you find yourself again entering this thick jungle of the Ilfari Empire. By now you're starting to get more used to it. It's still, oppressively hot and pretty damn humid, but you're not finding yourself as uncomfortable as originally when you were first in the Empire. So it takes you a couple more days to get there. But on the kind of fourth day of your travels, kind of early evening time, you kind of come to a spot where you can kind of see through a clearing in the trees, a gentle slope down to the coast, and perched on a kind of little isthmus there is definitely the ruins of what was once quite a sizable structure. And you can see that it's, not in a very good condition now, but at one point it would have been a fairly solid fortress. But it's been a long time since anyone's inhabited this. So that's probably, a couple of 100 yards away.
Okay. Well, if we should be very careful as we approach. We've had our warning, and I think it's wise to heed it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking around, so we're on like the road. It is an actual sort of road that leads up to it.
Yeah, it's again quite poorly maintained and in large parts mostly a dirt track, but there is kind of a pathway leading up to this. You can see there's kind of a cliff face above the castle to the left, and a little one to the right. This castle's kind of set down on the water level, really. You can see the remains of what appears to be some sort of ruined jetty jutting out from it into the water.
Is there any tracks of anyone who's been around recently, or any animals?
Roll me a perception.
Let's do it. Not great, but that's an 11.
So you can see kind of boot prints, but you can't really work out how many or how old the tracks are.
Please, could I cast Detect Magic?
Mm-hmm. So remind me of the range of that.
I'll have to check that, actually.
I think it's, I want to say 30.
Sorry, 1 second. It's not where I was expecting to find it. Spells. 30 feet.
Yeah, so you are still way too far away from this castle to really detect anything about it. From the position you're in now, though, you can't see anything kind of down there moving in the ruins or any sign of a recent incursion.
That scout seemed pretty badly affected. Is it best we send someone up ahead with that new headband on.
Could do.
Yeah, tell you
Yeah,
what, why don't
so-
I go ahead, because I can zip back out if needs be, and I can still keep in contact with you for quite a ways.
Well, I don't think you could keep in contact with that thing on, but
No.
we'll have to
But I
keep
can
our
always
eyes.
take it off, just to get in contact if we need. Does everyone think?
I'll follow behind, staying a little ways away, just in case we need to rush in quickly.
Okay.
So Roland will stay, say, 60 feet behind Triss as she moves up.
Okay. So, Triss, you cautiously advance down this path, kind of sticking to the bushes until they kind of fade out, at which point you tentatively sidle up using the cliff face to kind of stop you leaving a silhouette. But as you approach, you kind of get to see a bit more detail that you couldn't quite see from your previous angle. So you can see that this kind of fortress seems to be divided into two main kind of raised walls here, with seems to be a series of steps going down the middle of them, leading to the sea. You can also see there's a little bit of what looks to be, maybe at one point it was a garden just before the castle. And there seems to be the very overgrown statue or shrine there. Again, a long time since anybody's given it any real attention.
Is it possible to see what the statue is?
Not without getting closer. It's got a lot of kind of growth and mold and moss all over it.
Okay. How far away are we from that statue?
So you guys now are probably about 100 meters from the castle now.
Okay. I'll just shout back to Rulon to just keep within about 30 foot, and I'll sort of edge closer and quietly to that statue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So as you draw close, nothing seems to be stirring in the castle that you can see. There's a kind of very almost disturbing air of calm about the place. However, you're not really bothered too much by this, as your mind is soothed by the circles on your head. However, as you draw nearer to the statue, you cast your eyes kind of left through the main portcullis of this castle, and you can see strewn across the stairs of the kind of skeletal remains of what you assume to be Delar's previous companions. You can see that the salt water has kind of really made a mess of their armor, and that the skeletons seem to have been picked clean. And as you kind of look, you watch as a few seagulls fly overhead, which probably explains that a little bit. The statue now is becoming more clear to you. And you actually, as you draw near, you in fact, roll me a religion check.
Okie dokie. So that's 18.
So this was one of the kind of the old pantheon worshipped by the Ilafari in the times before the unification wars. You recognise this as Fromrius, the goddess of balance and strife.
Was she in the temple?
She was.
Okay. Did we give her an offering, or did we not?
Did not.
You did not.
I guess I'll kind of turn back to Rulon, and 30 foot would be kind of in shouting distance, right?
You could, I thought you could probably talk to them reasonably well. It's not a loud environment.
Alright, I'll try and talk to him at the bare minimum of loudness that I'd need to be, and just let him know what the statue is. But also that there's, like, I can't see any movement. I assume that he's probably also been watching out.
Yeah.
So, Rulin, roll me a perception check.
23.
So, Rulin, you've kind of been providing this backup to Triss, and kind of having followed her, you two have seen these corpses. As you cast your eyes over the castle, and more particularly the area where they're in, you can kind of see that there's a few kind of wrecked boats down towards where the ruined jetty is, and there's also a stone tower that looks to be, or at least at some point, have been part of a structure that now, due to the ravages of time, seems to have had the adjoining bridge collapsed into the sea. It's not too far a gap between the two, but you keep your eyes peeled in that direction as Triss continues her search.
Okay.
Oh, I just remembered. Does anyone want any health potion?
You say to those of you that are still hanging back, so Havel and Braxton.
I never say no to a drink.
I'm fine for health potions.
Oh, my health potions are better than yours.
I just like to think that Tark would take that as a personal insult as well.
Yeah. He's quite offended. Yeah.
If you want to give Havel one, and then if I don't use it, you can stab it back.
Cool. You've got one Toric special.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Pinch your nose while you drink it. Yeah.
Make sure
Oh, and
it's
here-
2 plus 21.
Here's the
And don't
slice of
ask why you
lime
want
you need as well.
Just filled with his powder. Is that what gives me the health boost? I just get powder.
But no, those were temporary HP points. Like, you are dead. Your just body doesn't realise it yet. Although that being said, Tark's going to be running out of powder very soon. It's been a while since he restocked. And seeing as he's still on peak performance, we'll assume he's been sniffing away on the regular.
Yeah, I had 3 doses since my last big moment. So how much do you reckon I've got left?
Not much, I'd imagine. 3 doses, and it has been, about a month on the ship and then the travel in between. So
Yeah,
even
I've
if
been
you
like
space
dicing
yourself,
up a little bit.
yeah.
It was only like 10 days, wasn't it, on the ship?
Tarek.
It was, but then you've got all the other travel in between.
Some kind of
yeah.
medium and inject it.
Anyway, before we get him into any more bad ideas, so yeah, Triss, you kind of see this statue, and it is damaged. Clearly, time hasn't been kind to it.
Could I do a little detect magic here as well?
So you cast detect magic, and you get no returns. The statue is not magical.
Okay, that's kind of a relief. I think probably before we go any further, we should bring everyone else to join us, Rulin. Have you seen anything else going on nearabouts, or are we seemingly on our own?
Nothing else has popped up? No?
Let's go get him.
We'll just turn around and give it the old... So...
Yep.
So the
God,
other
I wish that bird had shut up. I'm trying to cook here.
So Havel, Braxton, you kind of see Triss and Rulin gesture for you guys to come down.
Cool. Yeah, wasting the time just heading towards him.
Oh, Braxton, by the way, you didn't take a health potion, but how about this one? I'm gonna hand you one with like a yellow, very like viscous looking liquid.
Oh my god.
It's a potion of resilience. I'm gonna give one to Roland as well when we see him. It'll toughen the skin and make you combat ready, so to speak.
Why, thank you.
You're very welcome. I feel like Tarek partly did that just to just because he doesn't want people going out and buying potions of their own.
The ones we bought are more permanent nature, kind of.
Yeah, it's better than buying it from some silly shop, isn't it?
Okay, so you guys reconvene kind of just before the main portcullis of this castle.
Havel, those tracks, can you get a bead on them? How long? Was it the people who died, or is it someone else who's been down?
Yeah, I suppose I can take a look.
You want to roll that for me, then?
Oh, is it?
Favorite terrain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, actually.
Okay. I genuinely thought I was going to land on 7 then. Fuck's sake.
So you
yeah.
you kind of retrace your steps a little bit to these tracks, kind of first noticed, and you can see that these are fairly kind of deep for footprints. It's clearly the mark of people wearing fairly heavy armor, and you count the same number of tracks as there would have been party members if you also account for the surviving member. It looks like these are the tracks of the skeletons you now see at the base of the stairs.
Yeah, cool. I'll just tell everyone.
Okay.
Exactly that.
And no other tracks of Alistair and his party?
Havel didn't see any.
Okay. Perhaps we've beat them here?
Or maybe they were going somewhere else before they came here?
Yes, I think it's wishful thinking that we beat them. We should proceed with caution regardless.
Okay. Triss is gonna go up the stairs past the dead bodies.
Okay, so the stairs are actually leading down towards the sea. So the corpses, you kind of have a look at, again, like the armor is already starting to bear the effects of saltwater corrosion on them. And as I said before, the skeletons have already been kind of picked clean by the various scavengers. But you move past them. Again, your new circlet preventing any real kind of negative thoughts to invade your mind. And you can see that this castle is in need of some quite desperate repairs. It's clearly quite an old structure. You can see that on the kind of tower that is sticking out into the ocean, there is what appears to be a door. That, it draws your attention because this door is wooden and it's still in fairly good shape.
Ooh. Is there any other way to this castle other than down these stairs?
No, this is in quite a strategic position. It's got cliff on two sides of it, and then the road is the only way in that isn't by the sea.
Okay, and it would still be reachable by sea, do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, you could actually access this tower in the water by kind of climbing up to one side of these battlements and making a short hop across.
Okay.
It's only about 10 foot or so.
Are there any boats?
None that look seaworthy.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, I guess do we progress?
I'd say so.
On we go.
Okay, so you find the stairs up to the battlements, and you can kind of see from here the reason why this castle was built here. kind of looking out to your west, you can see that this castle basically controls what is a bottleneck into a natural harbour, a considerably large, unusual natural harbour at that. In fact, if I draw you back to the map, you can kind of see this little channel and then kind of a wider saltwater lake here. But this castle is literally just controlling the straits here, so clearly an important geographical location. But the battlements themselves kind of hold no clues as to what happened to the party of Lord Venan's guard below you. But Triss, you managed to work your way past the collapsed rock and the rubble that's there, and make your way to this gap between the tower. And it looks like a jump you could probably make. It's about, you'd estimate, about 9-10 feet. Doable, definitely, with a run up.
Okay,
Well,
let's do it.
Okay.
I don't think I can jump that far, fellas.
Somebody throw
going
the
to have to toss me.
Why is that everyone's first go-to?
I know you have like a lot of options, but it's just easiest to throw Torek.
I'm sure you have some sort of gizmo that could help you across.
Yeah, there might be. I doubt Homie can lift my weight. I can barely lift his.
It will be a stretch. It's
Indeed
not
it
really
would.
a load-bearing construct.
It's so annoying to be thwarted by a 10-foot gap. Let me just
10
look
foot's
through
a
my
significant gap for a gnome, to be fair.
That is a significant gap. That's like quite a ways for a human. 4 meters or so. Fuck that.
If one of us was to hop across first, we could assist Torret with reaching the other side.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Ready to
Now, I
grab it.
could blast myself over with the magnetic orb, but that just feels like...
We'll hop across.
Okay, so roll me in athletics.
I'm just looking at some. So to the tower itself, it's just a straight up gap. There's
Yeah.
not like okay. Ugh,
What's that add to with your modifiers?
it's 2.
Oh, just 2. Okay.
It's just kind of a shit one, you know.
Right. Okay.
I mean, with a running jump, what are the rules of like jumping up? What is there a distance?
There are, but I tend to use athletics jumps for them because I think it makes more sense.
Fair enough.
Because otherwise, it's just you can't do X amount because it's too far. Whereas this way, it gives you a better chance of success at kind of more challenging jumps. But anyway, you kind of take a long run up, kind of overconfident in it being such a short gap. But as you kind of reach the edge, you kind of put your foot down, and it just slips away as a kind of wet bit of seaweed kind of catches your footing, and you kind of slip and lose your momentum. You don't really get the launch you were hoping for. You kind of splosh down into the sea at the base of the tower. You don't come to any harm, and it's only about a 30-foot swim back to the base of the stairs, and you can have another go, but it's definitely a sting to your pride.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody else, this is obviously you're used to Rulin being, a very graceful combatant, moves very swiftly and with purpose, so this isn't something you're going to get to see very often.
Please tell me we're all laughing.
Yeah, well, you'd think that raise
I'm rolling on the floor with it.
I'll, just despite the laughing, I'll pretend to go under the water, like that I've disappeared, and then I'll silently make my way up around. Make them all think I've drowned.
So you guys are kind of laughing for a fair bit. And, after about 30 seconds, Rulin still hasn't surfaced.
Oh,
Ew.
well, he's a pretty good swimmer. I don't think he would have been foiled twice in quite so quick succession, surely.
Torik's just going to snap his fingers, point down, and go, "But what if it's acid?"
Torik, is it acid?
I don't know. I can't. Torik's going to smell the air and try and deduce.
As they're doing all this, Rulin will have just climbed back up the stairs and he's stood behind them dripping.
Yeah, he's coming back up, and Torik's like, "Oh God, yes, that's definitely nitrous sulfate. My goodness."
How was your swim, Alan?
Of course, yes.
Yes.
Following
So
Rulin's issue, Triss is gonna just sort of grab hold of Torik and dimension door to the other side.
Okay, that's one workaround. So you kind of bridge the gap very easily with Dimension Door and Torik in tow. And you can kind of get a better look now of what's on this side of the door. Of the gap. And yeah, so this tower was clearly once part of the larger structure, and seems to have been, a fairly tall part of the building at one point. Torik, roll me a history check.
Can do. That's still a 16.
So you recognise the architecture as Ilafari. You date it to the pre-unification period. However, you reckon the door is a lot more recent than that. Definitely been added not too long ago.
you might need to disconnect and reconnect.
Yeah, Triss, I think, dragged your connection through the dimension door with you.
My apologies.
I reckon.
Nope. Anyone?
We'll give them a minute. So,
The convention put that tiara on. Not the connection. Said the wrong word. But,
I'll give them a
can I
moment.
take this chance to jump across the gap?
Athletics, please.
Uh, 18.
You leap across with no difficulty. It's getting a little crowded on this platform, though, now. It's not the largest amount of space.
Is the door open, unlocked?
So, Triss, as you look at this door, you can see that the timber appears to be quite solid, and seems to have banded iron at various heights around it. However, by the handle, or where you would assume the handle would be, opposite side of the door to the hinges, you see a really kind of strange kind of metal plate that seems to have no hole for a key, but interestingly, what appears to be an embedded palm print. Or at least you would think so, but there are no clearly defined fingers, just a thumb and then like a fan shape with a few sticky, uppy bits dotted at the edge of the fan.
Not a human-shaped hand.
Not a human-shaped hand.
Would it be possible to cast Detect Magic on that, please? Like gently at the door.
There is magic on this door.
Ooh, okay. We ain't getting in that easy.
I'm back, by the way.
Good. Did you catch that description? Basically,
a door with a hand scanner.
Yeah,
an
good. You got it.
alien hand scanner. Yes.
If I look around the door, Could there possibly be some, I don't know, skin particles or something that may have fallen off this character?
Roll me a perception.
That's just a flat 13.
No, you find nothing.
Ah,
I
sorry,
have an
Tarek.
idea. Um, Braxton, would you be able to jump back onto the other side?
Yeah, sure.
Another athletics.
Just
Yep.
25.
Again, another fine display of athleticism.
And you might all want to step back a little bit. Triss is going to take the circle off and put it on Torek.
Okay.
Oh.
And then she's going to eyeball the door. The belly button eyeball.
Mm-hmm. So you going to cast this eye over the door and its mechanisms, and you could see that there is definitely a kind of vague aura of magic emanating from this, and it seems that whatever put this door here, they protected it pretty well.
Okay.
Have they explained to everyone across the other side about the door?
Across that kind of gap, you'd be able to kind of keep each other informed pretty easily. It's not far.
So, based on the description that you've given of the door and its handprint, we'll head back up towards that statue and see if maybe the hand matches the kind of design.
So you take a good look at both hands of this statue, and both of them are kind of humanoid hands in nature. The standard 4 fingers and a thumb.
Not sweet.
Who would have the best check for nature?
You would think the ranger.
Right. So I think
I
probably.
do have
Oh.
9.
Internet's fucked again, my guy.
Tiara.
I think he might have been trying to say that Torek's.
Oh no! I can hear you fine.
Oh, there we go. That's it.
Mine's pretty good. Hello. So, Torek's got a +9.
Oh, cool. Torek, is this a hand that you recognise? Like, is there anything that you know that would have a hand shaped like this?
Nope, and again.
We're getting none of that there. Give him a minute. In fact, does somebody just want to roll for him? Because that's probably where this is heading.
There we go, I'll do a roll. Did he say it was +9?
He did. Okay.
I've got to stop rolling for Torek. It's just not working out.
This is not Torek's area of expertise. He doesn't recognise it either.
Okay. Havel, are you feeling spicy?
I'm not by the door.
You're not by the door. Do you want to jump over?
It's a very small platform.
There's
Did
no
anyone
two
else
of us
leave
on
it
at
yet?
the moment. Yeah.
Well,
There's just two of us.
Braxton
shit, I
popped off, so...
Didn't notice you pop up. Sorry, wasn't paying attention.
Havel's busy looking at plants somewhere.
Righty how. I will have to hop over. What is it? Acrobatics, athletics.
Athletics, please.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's fine. I was about to complain, but then I realised I got bonus on it. Will a 24 suffice?
It will indeed. So you hop across and take a good look at this
I'm back.
door. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Sorry, I've moved closer to the crystal ball. I think it'll work better now.
Yes, no dice on the identification for you there, Torek. But Havel is stepping up, so roll me a nature check, if you will.
Oh, I totally thought I was going to be on a 20 then. Nature for me, that's only a 12.
You do not recognise it.
Okay, anybody any ideas how we get through this door?
So looking around the tower, further up, around the sides, any windows or anything at all?
You can see that the top is kind of ruined. However, the kind of structure has no visible windows. It's got a few arrow slits, but they're kind of too small to really get through.
Ah.
Unless one had a telescope that could allow them to.
And someone wanted to try
Or a
risky
midget that
gadget.
could cast Misty Step, yeah?
What, through?
I thought Misty Step was anywhere you could see.
Yeah, true it is.
I mean, I could blow up the door.
Yeah, I mean, if there's magic on the door, I don't want to, like, fucking teleport up there to find out I can't get through it. I just bounce back out and fly down.
It's alright.
Don't worry, I'll catch you.
It's a wet landing beneath.
How warm's the water, Rulin?
How rocky is the water?
But
That's the real question here.
the water is both embracingly cold and around the base of the tower strewn with debris.
Ooh.
So you said the top of the tower was ruined, but there'd be like an opening, perhaps.
You don't know, you can't see. The kind of the top just kind of ends in the kind of jagged kind of stones of derelict masonry, and you don't know what's on top of it.
Just like, hey, Rulin, use my telescope.
Triss is
How
gonna
high?
reach
Or
out.
how high up is it actually?
Looks about 50 feet.
Ooh, too far.
Telescope's 30.
Triss is gonna reach out and pop a hand on the mechanism just to see if it does anything.
So, Triss, you reach your hand out and receive a small but painful shock. You can take D4 damage.
Spicy.
Thingy.
So you take 3 damage there, Triss.
Ah. It's working off my favourite element.
Torek,
Yes.
if I were to tie one end of a rope around Homie, could he secure it to the top of the ruin for one of us to climb up?
I'm sure he should be able to do that, yes. Although you'd have to be very specific with his instructions, because God knows what you aren't precise instructions.
Okay. Well, try that.
Cool. I let Homie off my arm and he crawls out in front of me. I go, now listen here, you clay contraption of science. I want you to take this end of the rope and tie it upon the top of the tower there.
Okay. So this contraption lets out a series of beeps and takes a hold of this rope and proceeds to fly up to the top of the tower, and proceeds to kind of circle around the top of the tower, looking for somewhere to tie it on. And to your dismay, Tora, you watch as this homunculus finds the only remaining kind of battlement that's kind of upright and ties the rope to it. However, this is on the wrong side of the tower. It is kind of facing out to sea, leaving the rope securely fastened, but kind of around the curvature of the wall and out of reach.
Ah,
I twitch for a second and then he just like jumps up and down like, God damn it!
okay. Rulin sees a potential chance to redeem himself here. I could run across vertical surfaces. Could I run it around the side of the tower?
Oh my god.
See, now around it, oh, okay. That's not the. Usually you run around the inside of a wall, but I'll let you try it. I'll let you try it, but it is going to require me an athletics check.
Oh,
That's where to go.
Gaz isn't here, so I'll give up.
and then to grab the rope on the other side.
So it's probably about 15 feet around in
Okay.
the kind of the diameter of this.
I want to point out here, so no matter what happens, no one else can see what's going to happen on the other side of the tower.
That's true. You will be kind of out and around.
You will either hear a splash or you won't hear anything. In which case, okay, let's do it. It's 10.
Roland, you kind of take a running jump, and your kind of foot kind of makes contact with this kind of stone of the tower, and it's kind of been abraded over the years. It was kind of enough to get a grip there, and so you kind of managed to get a step off of it. However, you do kind of lose a bit of height on this as you're going around, and you make it a little bit further around the tower. But as you're kind of leaning in to try and grab the rope, a large wave kind of takes you by surprise, and you're kind of swept into the sea again for another cold and, not a long swim, but a defeated swim back to the base of these stairs.
Okay.
The rest of you don't see anything, but you just kind of hear the crash of a wave.
And then don't
Okay.
see Rulin again immediately.
And then don't see Rulin again, and he doesn't appear at the top of the tower to wave down to you either.
The
So
top of-
trudges his way up wetly. Tarek, tell Homie to rope back.
Or if he can't bring the rope back, could I dimension door up there and then move the rope to a position where we can use it? Is there anywhere up at the top that we can see kind of a flat surface?
So you can, with Dimension Door, you can kind of specify just a distance without having to see it. So you could definitely Dimension Door to where you think the top of this tower would be.
Okie dokie.
That would be the last of your spells as well.
Yes, so if there's any other ideas, let's do that first.
I mean, I've got a small idea.
Yes?
I could go up there and sort it out, and could use a much lower form of magic. Who remembers this one? And I'm going to start brewing a potion.
Okay. So by this point, kind of evening is progressed now, and it's very close to sunset. But Tarek, you kind of get a small fire going and proceed to cook up a potion.
Yeah. I reveal like a disgusting green-looking fluid, which I open up and drink, and I go, "Hey, who remembers this one?" And then I start floating in the air really, really gently and slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Who remembers Gnome Shark?
Before he goes too far, Triss is going to reach forward and just grab the circlet back off his head.
Okay. So Tarek,
As I'm getting to your head height, you just lift it off me.
as Triss kind of grabs the circlet off your head, the kind of momentum she imparts gives you like a slow but definite spin. So you kind of ascend this. You ascend this tower, kind of spinning.
Mayday!
You still haven't had time to work on those control surfaces that you'd originally planned.
No. Excellent. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So Tarek, you're slowly drifting up, but everybody else, you could watch this. It is a fairly leisurely ascent. But Tarek is kind of reaching the top of the tower. The problem is he's still spinning and he's still climbing. So
okay.
Tarek, you kind of see this tower flashing before you with as you spin around, and you know that you're getting towards the top as well.
Okay. I'm gonna try a little maneuver to stop myself spinning.
Hmm.
I'm gonna spin around the boomer blade and use it as like a stabilizing fan.
Like a tail rotor.
Yeah, like a little yeah, like a counter thrust.
Hmm. Okay, so you start up the boomer blade and kind of keep it attached to your gauntlet, and as you hold it out to gain some more leverage, the spin slowly starts to kind of drop away there, and soon you find yourself able to orientate back towards the face of the tower.
Torek, you are a genius. And I'll go ahead and untie the mess Homie did. Give him a ticking off while I'm tying it on the right side of the tower.
Okay, so you kind of managed to get Homie to kind of meet your demands, and you find yourself kind of able to reach the top of the tower.
So, Tarek, is there a way in?
Good question. I'll have to ask the GM.
So you see straight away that this it does have a kind of a platform at the top, and it seems that at one point there stood here quite a kind of large iron dish for burning of what you guess would be oil. There's a kind of a lighthouse. You can see that there's a doorway, or at least an opening, that leads to a set of stairs going down, although you can see that a few of these steps are missing as the rock has collapsed, but you're able to kind of hop down inside. However, as you reach the bottom there, you can see that there are a couple of things that strike you as odd. First of all, the actual base of the floor has a trap door on it, sealed with a very similar mechanism to the one you saw on the front of the gate. Sorry, the door that everybody else is kind of stood behind. The other is that there seems to be a very old and falling apart chest in there that seems to be of the same kind of era of the rest of the castle. So, I mean, this is quite an old thing. It's got holes in it, and the locking mechanism has long since rusted away. And you can kind of see through some of the cracks the glimmer of gold.
Torek, I'd like to think that Torek has had bad experiences with chests as an archaeologist, so he's gonna try and open it up from a distance using his crowbar.
Mm-hmm. So you
flicking it open like you're poking a dead body with a stick.
Yep. So you take this crowbar and you kind of give it a bit of an investigation. You can see a lot of the wood actually kind of crumbles away at the impact, and you can see what appears to be a stash of quite old coins in here. They seem to be glinting gold.
Do you still have the familiar smell of gold coins from when you transformed into a dragon?
I give the gold a sniff.
It doesn't evoke any memories. Your gnomish senses seem to react differently.
Or I'm gonna scoop this gold into a new bag of holding so it doesn't make any noise.
Okay, so you kind of carefully move some of this gold into the bag of holding, and you think you count out about 500 pieces as you're doing it. It takes a bit of time, and the rest of you stood outside. You kind of watch as the sun sets and kind of darkness falls on the castle, and you still have had no word from Torek since he went over the parapet. So, it's probably quite worrying.
Being dropped down from him moving it.
Yes, here it has.
Does someone want to try going up after him? What kind of check would we need to get up that rope?
It wouldn't be too hard, but it'd be athletics again.
Okay, Triss is gonna give it a go, seeing as though she stood on the ledge.
Sure. So roll up, please.
Oh, this isn't gonna go well. That's 4.
So Triss, you kind of try and get a good firm grip on this rope, but you just don't have the strength to kind of really lift yourself up on it, especially with no knots in it to act as footholds.
Havel's still on the ledge, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give it a go?
Let's show a woman how it's done. That is 16.
So Havel, you kind of use the tower to kind of almost walk yourself up using the rope to kind of pull yourself up. It doesn't take you very long. You manage to scale this tower, and you can again see this large brazier at the top, and then peering down, you can see Torek shoveling something into a bag at the base of this.
Is he okay?
Yeah, looks like it. Oi, midget, what are you doing?
Oh, I was just, I was claiming some very important archaeological artifacts. Safely stored.
So wait, yeah, actually, you know what? Havel, just go down to Torek.
And you kind of hop down these stairs. They're decrepit, but safe enough to carefully traverse.
Cool. And then I imagine he'll see exactly what Torek's putting in a bag.
Tries to hide it. The glint of gold is very apparent.
It is, especially to Torek. It's like, you sneaky fuck. So, split between us, don't tell the rest.
I was going to split it after I've done my study. I need to sketch every single coin. For science.
Oop. I think my headphones just went off.
Sorry, I think I just cut out there a bit. What do you say there, guy?
Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
No, I think that was on my end this time.
Oh, mine cut out as well. Mine just went dead silent, I thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that last sentence.
Yeah, I was just saying, of course I'd share it with the party, but first I just want to take the archaeological notes.
I was going to be like, no, I didn't say the party. I said us two. Then wink at him.
I'm going to gasp and be like, oh, could it possibly be suggesting we collude against our comrades?
No, I'm not suggesting it. It's outright what I'm saying. But yeah, stash that away somewhere anyway. We need to get these lot in here. So from where we are, what else can I see in the room?
Not much. It seems that lots of the original furnishings have kind of not withstood the ravages of time. There's a fair bit of kind of debris as the clearly the breaking stairs have had nowhere to fall but here. So you see this hatch, but there doesn't seem to be anything else of note in this section.
Okay, so is the hatch on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I might as well open it because it's a hatch. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so you go open it.
Now you said that in a specific way. I'm quite worried. Oh fuck!
So Havel, you reach down and kind of receive a sharp jolt of electricity and take 3 damage.
Son of a bitch!
good.
Cool.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'll
I
go
just
back
thought of
to the
something that
top.
Mhm.
And if I was to help pull on the rope to get people up, would that
Yeah, make it
kind
easier.
of advantage on them? Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. So I'll go to the top and be like, grab on the rope, I'll help you up.
All right, Triss is gonna grab the rope and give it another go.
Uh-huh.
So rolling with advantage. Oops.
Yep, so Triss, with this time, with Havel kind of helping pull you up, and having watched him do it, you don't have any difficulty climbing this tower now. It's quite easy to get up.
Have we not just found ourselves stuck at the top now instead of stuck at the bottom?
No, because we've still got a rope.
Yeah, but we still can't get through any of the doors.
Yeah, but it's worth you having a look.
All right,
It's worth other people having a look as well.
get him up
There's
here
only
then.
so much a ranger can do.
That's news to me, Havel.
There's no Nazgul around. I'm useless.
Okay, so it leaves Rulin and Braxton down at the base of the tower. So if you two just want to roll that if you're coming up.
Yeah. I mean, one
with
last time,
advantage.
just looking around, there's nothing, like, as we were approaching sunset and what have you, nothing's changed in the surroundings. There's no.
So you have noticed. In fact, no. Roll me a nature check.
Okay.
Nine. No.
19.
The tide is coming in.
Looking at the surroundings, is there signs of where the tide normally rises to?
You can kind of see the battlements of the tower have a clear mark on them where part of the stone is kind of more, dark and eroded from clearly years of the tides coming in. So you get a rough idea. You can see it kind of goes to the base of these steps just before where the skeletons lie. You can't really. Actually, I suppose if you're at the bottom, you could tell. At the tower where you guys are currently stood, it's probably about 5 feet higher than the sea was when you first arrived.
So it would have covered the door.
Not quite. The door's a little bit higher than that.
The handprint on the door, would it appear to be a webbed hand?
You might surmise that.
Or no.
Uh-oh.
Some more people are back.
Well, we have made up with the. We may have just bypassed nothing. It may be a possibility that nothing is in this tower, but I do have one idea to get it open. If you're willing to, if you're all willing to hear me out. It's just a theory, but if I drain it of its magical energy, maybe the door will open.
It's worth a try, but let's get the others up here first in case it does all go wrong or in case it opens.
Yes, too true, too true.
Okay. Alright, yeah, we'll climb up then.
Mm-hmm. So, you guys roll that for me.
Oh, what do you know?
So,
Okay,
so yeah, you guys make it up there fine, just fine. So Tarek, you've got a plan.
I do. I'm going to invert the current of my shock gauntlet, put my hand up against the panel, and cast absorb elements as I touch it. So I'm absorbing the electrical energy as it's coming across. Maybe it'll like drain the magical door of its power.
Mm-hmm.
While he does this, Triss is going to put a circlet back on as well, just in case.
Tarek, as you go in, you get a supercharged jolt of electricity. Takes 7 damage.
Oh! Do I get resistance to that?
No, you do not, because you absorbed elements and amplified the voltage.
Oh. Yowie.
So you guys watch as Tarek just is kind of like sent back in a little bit in kind of involuntary spasm as his hand withdraws from this lock.
Whew. Ah. Oh, I would like to acquaint myself with that power source.
But as you look down, you can see that the hatch looks at least unchanged.
So, what was the opening mechanism to this hatch then? It's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Looks exactly like the one on the outside door.
I'm gonna have the same idea as I had outside. Can I look around? I'm assuming we're looking for some sort of sea creature. So can I look for like scales or anything that may have shredded as they were within the tower?
Roll me another perception.
Nope, that's just a 7.
So again, you cast your eyes down as the others are doing this and search the room. However, you find no evidence of any beings in here.
Well, at the end of the day, there's always the old-fashioned break it down.
And how would you like to go about doing that?
Look at someone who's a bit stronger than I am.
Don't look at me.
So, Triss, when you inspected the door, the only magic was on the locking mechanism. The door itself was mundane.
That's actually a good question. Could I cast Detect Magic up here as well and see whether there's anything going on other than the door? And then to kind of answer that question about the door mechanisms.
Yes, so you kind of now that you're on the other side of this door, you kind of get the hatch coming up with a similar kind of aura as the other one. However, you get a few very faint hits as well of a different nature coming from below the hatch. You don't recognise it as a spell as such. They're
Could it be a
just
magical creature?
you don't know.
I tell you what, Rulin will lean down, but rather than touching the locking mechanism, we'll just knock on the door.
Mm-hmm. So you knock the hatch and kind of tilt your head to listen. And you give it a while, but you hear nothing to suggest anything is heard.
Worth a try.
So yeah, by now it's starting to get pretty late now. Darkness is falling on the inside of the tower. Becomes a bit more difficult to kind of really see what you're doing. And as you kind of roll in this stone structure, you start to notice the evening has gotten significantly cooler, and the sea breeze has made that a lot worse, especially for you, Rulin, who's dripping wet. So it's starting to get pretty chilly here.
Okay. Everyone take a few steps back. We're gonna try and blast through the door.
Okay. Eldritch Blast, I'm assuming.
Yeah, aimed at the door handle. Not the door handles, the door hinges.
Okay, so roll me those attacks, please.
That's
Everybody roll dexterity saving throws.
Shit. Wait, did you all not move out the way?
You're in an enclosed space, and these blasts have just ricocheted off the iron.
Everyone,
No.
I'm assuming everyone's going to be pretty much within 10 feet of me. So you
Get a
all
plus
add
4.
+4.
That's sick.
So mine is a 19.
Hmm.
You get a plus what?
+4.
+4. So that's a 21.
Jesus. That's a
Okay.
12.
So, as Triss kind of puts her hands forward and proceeds to blast this door, these bolts just kind of strike this iron of the hinge and just like ricochets off. And in the enclosed space, you guys kind of throw yourself to the ground as these blasts just kind of bounce off the curved surface of the stone before eventually exploding against the roof. Kind of a bit of stone debris showers down, but you all kind of manage to get your arms up to protect yourselves from the worst of it, and none of it's really big enough to cause any crushing.
Sorry, folks.
Okay.
Triss is going to step back as far away from the door as possible and sort of gesture for everyone else to step forwards.
Toric, do you have any acid or anything that may melt through?
Melt through metal. Is the whole door metal?
No, but there's enough kind of banding reinforcements on it that, there's a lot of metal on the door.
Perhaps.
I don't suppose there's a keyhole.
No.
Perhaps we could find a larger piece of debris, go up the stairs, and just drop it on the hatch.
Not a terrible idea. Find something heavy enough. Shame Titus isn't here.
Okay, so you guys are able to locate a piece of rock, probably about the size of a watermelon. And Braxton, you could lug that up the stairs without any difficulty. Roll me an attack roll, please. It's a fairly small hatch, and you are.
I'm going to give you a
about
flash of genius.
50 feet away. So Torek kind of roughly shouts out some calculations to kind of help you aim. So you kind of drop this rock and try and get it pretty much as straight as you can. The rest of you watch as this thing kind of impacts with the door, and you can kind of definitely hear the crack of wood, and you can see that some of the metal bends under the impact. There's definitely been damage caused to this door. However, it still holds, if slightly buckled.
Well, I suppose we could just try that again. It seems to have done a dent.
I suppose we could. What's the state of the rock that was just...
It's definitely chipped. It's taken some damage from that too. You could probably try again, but it wouldn't last for continuous, repeated attempts.
Yeah, let's try it one more time.
Can I enchant the rock?
Okay, so you go and kind of get into the same position as before. So another attack roll, please. Yep. So you do pretty much the same as before, and this time we're going to do a Constitution saving throw for the door. Okay, so the rock hits, and you hear this splintering sound as the hatch door gives way. It seems that one of the iron bands across it has snapped, and the timbers held within have fallen away. Whilst the large frame kind of still looks like it's mostly there, a hole now exists sizable enough for Toric to get through.
Bravo, well done. Well, shall I?
Go ahead. Shout up if you need us.
We'll go. So this hatch is on the floor. I peer through it. What can I see?
So you can see a drop and then what appears to be water.
Oh. Has the tide risen then?
Well, the tide has definitely risen since you've been here, but you don't know how deep this water is.
No. Okay.
It's
I'll
kind of
take
too
that.
dark to really see at this point.
I think my flight potion has worn off. Anyone got any rope?
We could go and get the rope
come
that's
on
on the
now.
roof.
What if we need an escape?
Oh, sorry, I myself muted. Yeah, I said, well, we can tie it. Well, we can leap off into the water if we need to.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've got rope still anyway.
Okay,
So
go for it. Use that.
yeah, just use that.
Actually,
Okay,
while,
so-
while I was thinking of it, Rulin will quickly spool up the rope that's on top of the tower to make it not look like someone's climbed up the side. You know.
Just don't leave it hanging over the edge. Yeah.
Ruben,
Yeah.
while you're up there, is there anything going on over the side? Triss is going to follow you up and just double check around the base to see if it looks like there's been anyone else kind of around.
Okay.
Can't find much evidence of any kind of recent goings on.
Back to it then. Tarek, on you go.
Yes, will do. Lower me down, whoever's holding the rope. As I lean into it like an abseil. Please tell me someone's holding the rope.
Yeah. Splosh. No, it's
Braxton will hold it.
so you're lowered down, Torek, and it's about 10, 15 feet before you enter the water. And it's really dark down here, obviously being nighttime and kind of inside. But interestingly, you can see a slightly, almost as if there's a ray of light, not very bright, but brighter than the rest of the surroundings, a little deeper in the water.
Tarek, could you not maybe open the hatch from the inside?
I could do, but I need to make sure it's safe first, don't I? And Torek is going to. I think I've got an idea on how to see into the water. I will
Swim down.
Shoot, I've only got silver. Actually, yeah, it's probably a good idea just to come up and do it, isn't it? Yeah, I'll hoist me up to the hatch, and I'll see if I can open it from the inside.
Okay, so Tarek, as you're hoisted back up, you get close enough to this hatch to look, and you realise that the mechanism is the same on the reverse. There's no visible handle.
Son of a gun! Oh well. I suppose I could shrink you all down and have you come in with me if you really wanted. At that point, I'm going to take my crowbar and make it light up using my alchemical magical tinkering.
Okay, so you hold your luminescent crowbar in front of you.
Yep. I'm going to drop it into the water to see if it shows anything in there.
Mm-hmm. So you hear the splash as this hits the water, and it descends. The glow getting dimmer as it kind of travels further. However, it comes to a rest, what you gauge to be about 20 feet down. And you can see that, amongst the shimmering of the water, it's not too clear, but there are definitely a couple of spherical objects down there. What appears to be a crack in the underwater segment of this tower leading to the outside.
So maybe the bottom of this tower is cracked open to the ocean, and there are some kind of oceanic folk who are using it as some kind of mating ground. The spherical objects could be eggs. I guess I'll have to go in closer for inspection. Who else wants a rebreather?
Well, none of us can get down there, so.
Yep, just me then.
Okay, so Torek, you fit your rebreather and signal to be hoisted down. So Braxton, you lower Torek kind of gently at first, wait for any tugs, but as none come, you proceed to lower him down all the way. And Torek, as you get down into the depths of this tower, you can see that yes, there is a definite gap in this tower, easily big enough for your larger comrades to fit through. And then it seems that there are indeed a few eggs. You count 5 of them. However, each one is about the size of a beach ball.
Oh, those are big eggs. Okay. I'm gonna pick up my crowbar again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab one of the eggs and then pull the rope to be hoisted up.
Okay, so Braxton, you feel this kind of sharp yank on the rope and begin pulling. You notice this time it is a fair bit heavier than when you were lowering it down. And after a while, you pull Torek up out, and this egg manages to just about squeeze through the hole that you've made in the hatch. So the rest of you see Torek kind of come to the surface with this thing in his hands.
What make you of this, fellas?
Oh no, this
Massive
looks like
eggs.
trouble.
I think perhaps we should have left it where it was, Torek.
Well, maybe, but there's only one way to get these doors open, as you know, and this is a pretty big deoxyribonucleic acid source.
Okay. Please, could I have a quick look?
You go for it, girl.
I'm gonna cast Identify on it.
Okay, so Triss, you cast Identify on this thing. Immediately, you realise this was the previous magical hit you'd received earlier, and now you know why. You are holding in your hands a kraken egg.
Oh crap! Torek, you're gonna put this back, please. Thank you.
Why? What is it?
It's bad news. We need to get out of here.
Bad news. Well, it looks like giant caviar to me.
We're about to be giant caviar for it, or its parents, I think.
Oh yeah, it must come from somewhere. Forgot.
Would that be the Fae that that Dalar saw? Would that
No.
have anything to do with that's a separate thing?
It would not be the Fae that Dalar saw.
Well, it seems a rather small place for a creature such as a kraken to lay its eggs.
Oh.
Do we know
Perhaps
if anything that would
someone
take
else?
Kraken's eggs?
Yeah,
mean-
maybe someone else brought them here.
Can I metagame? Squids like to squids sometimes release their young into small objects like bottles and stuff for their own safety.
Oh.
So Crispy may have based it on that.
That's lovely, but squid is not a kraken.
It's the closest thing we got.
You need to be worried about sea travel. I've been playing Subnautica recently.
Yeah. So was there another way into the tower, Torek? Did you say?
Could we just do a quick nature check as well about how much we know about Kraken behaviour or anything we know about them?
That would be Arcana.
Okay.
They are fairly magical in nature, more than natural, I would say.
Let's do it then. probably the best for me. I say this, I'm gonna roll a 1 or something stupid. Oh, for God's sake, a 10.
You only really know the kind of tall stories picked up in the taverns of Eventide, told to you by some of the older sailors when you were having a drink with them about, these kind of almost unfathomably large creatures raining destruction down on ships that stray too far out to sea.
Okay.
The sailors don't think too highly of them, put it that way.
Maybe
Yeah.
this is someone's lunch. They may have harvested the eggs from somewhere else and brought them here.
If they think a kraken egg is lunch, I dread to think how terrible they are.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
think of what we're dealing with here. The locking mechanisms on these doors. It's clearly some kind of sentient creature that lives here. So
Okay. I may have some proof to prove Roland's point, and I'm gonna open the bag of holding and let people peer in to see just the mass amount of gold that I plundered. It's like, and I'm gonna say, well, this gold must be at the top here for some reason, and these panels are locked by a webbed hand.
Rulen, roll me a history check.
Kraken farm.
a history check.
Why would you want to farm Kraken?
That would be 13.
You recognise these as old Ilafari coin.
Hmm.
Probably of the same age as the castle.
So actually,
Could just be
that wouldn't be the
leftover.
case then. That wouldn't be the case because it's dated with the castle.
So
So it
He's
must have been
hoarding
here
them.
the whole time. In fact, anything here would have no interest in the gold, otherwise it already would have been plundered.
Also, if they were interested in the gold, they would have put the hatch in front of the gold, probably.
Right. I'm very confused by the hatch and the non-taking of gold. They're not interested in gold. They're interested in the Kraken. They wanted to protect it from both sides of the tower. Could we be dealing with some subterranean race underneath the ocean that could be farming Kraken as livestock or weapons of war?
blimey. I don't think any of us are quite prepared to answer that question.
Me neither. Frankly, it would make an awesome book. Some kind of Aquaman.
So how are we going? So was there anywhere else inside the tower to venture into, or was that?
No, it's quite a small structure, really. It was clearly a lighthouse at one point. So you've been to the top and turrets to the base.
So what was the rest of the castle then? Where was the entrance or anything?
So the rest of the castle, you could see that the main entrance was basically led down these steps to the sea, and flanked on both sides were these raised battlements, with only the one central portcullis. The battlements themselves kind of seem like irregular defensive structures.
So
and then there was the jetty.
So was the castle itself? We're already inside it, kind of thing.
Yes, you guys are you had to go through the castle, the portcullis to get onto the battlements, which then you're able to jump from.
And this was the
tower.
only kind of enterable room we found. There's nothing else.
Yeah, everywhere else seems to have been
Just wrecked or
degraded to the point where doorways have collapsed and stuff. It's not a huge castle, put it that way. It was clearly a small outpost, but served a more naval purpose.
And sorry, as well, just to confirm, the wording of the contract we had as well, was it just to investigate or to clear this place?
It was to clear.
Oh, so we have to destroy the egg?
Don't have to destroy the eggs. We just have to be rid of whatever's occupying this place.
Braxton, you
But
spent
Right now, there is nothing occupying this place. There's only the eggs that are here. There's no one. In fact, Rulin, saying that, Rulin will head back up to the top of the tower and take another look around.
Roll me a perception.
17.
You see nothing.
Nothing in the water specifically as well.
Nope. You just see the waves now lapping against the stonework.
Something was here. Something killed these people. Something brought these eggs here, whether they laid them or not. Where are they now? Where could they be?
Braxton, you're based near the sea. Do you know anything more about krakens, or if there's anything that is particularly interested in? If there's anything that's a predator for them?
Who was that aimed at?
Braxton.
Yeah. I guess I'll roll to see if I do or don't.
So Braxton, you have heard very little in the way of kraken. You kind of know the same as everyone else, really. Only what you've heard in mythology, and that they're quite rightfully feared amongst seafarers.
Breaktress, it's something that is seldom seen, even by the people who reside right by the sea. I don't have any more information for you, unfortunately.
Or fortunately, as the case may be. Not many people live to see the kraken and tell the tale. Okay, so by now night has well and truly fallen, and it's starting to get a little bit tired, a lot of you. The night is, as I say, cold, and a lot of you are now starting to feel the chill.
Maybe we should set up camp at the top of the tower here.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay, so you guys climb the tower, and obviously the iron brazier is no longer there, but you could definitely get a small campfire going out of some available debris. Torek, you have the ruined fragments of the chest you broke open earlier. It's not much, but it'll generate a little bit of heat.
Mm.
Okay, so you guys traipse your way up there. First thing that you notice is it is windy up here. You guys are elevated and on the edge of the sea, so the wind is cold and it blows across. Rulin, roll me a Constitution saving throw, because you have been wet and exposed for quite a while. Just like your mother.
That's what you get.
So you I feel yourself start to shiver, but you quickly take up your meditation and redirect the flow of chi. Ki, whatever. That's
not whatever. My way of life.
The hippie voodoo Asian magic, and you
voodoo Asian.
So you kind of redirect that and soon start to feel a bit warmer. Okay, so everybody's getting to sleep then, are we? Or are we setting up watches?
Oh, we are definitely setting up watches.
Yeah, the presence of those doors definitely leads me to want watches.
Yeah. I don't have the alarm trinkets on me at the moment, so would whoever's on watch at the time please watch the egg as well.
Wait, did we keep the egg with us?
Well, I didn't put it back.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Tark is still in possession of the Kraken egg.
Okay.
It will not fit in the bag of holding, will it?
It's a little big for the bag of holding.
Is it, Torek? Is it not better to leave it in the water? We don't know how those things will react being outside of water for an extended period of time.
I suppose that's true. I'm gonna pick up the egg and go, "You hear that, little guy? You're gonna go home. Sorry to disturb you."
Oh, my God. I'm upset Lucy's
Okay.
thinking. Fuck. Tarek's
Um,
father.
I've read somewhere that Krakens are intelligent. Maybe I'll remember this and not eat me in the future.
Okay, so Tarek, describe to me the process of returning this this egg. In fact, I should have made you roll Constitution because you got wet when you were swimming. So retroactively do that for me, please. I'd completely forgotten.
Ah, yes. Just a second there, me old chum. I'm a gnome. That'll be 17? Question mark.
Yeah, so
plus 5.
you managed to, in the process of lighting the fire, dry yourself. So it's not too big an issue. Anyway, so carry on. Describe to me the process of returning this egg.
So I'm gonna use the spell levitate. I'm gonna I'm gonna hook Homie up to a larger set of blades and allow him to lower the egg safely down into the water before returning back up.
Okay, so is Homie going in the water and kind of down to the eggs, or is he just going to the surface and then back
He's
up?
gonna
once
go
he's
down
released
to
it?
like the surface, submerge it, and then like release his grip of it, but not like submersing himself.
Okay. So Torek, you kind of command the homunculus to do this, and it slowly and carefully descends to the base of this tower and lowers the egg into the water. And on your command, it releases it. However, this egg is heavy, and you watch as it falls away at a fairly alarming rate. And as you watch, wow, you see as it descends and reaches the bottom, you see a swirl of orange start to kind of radiate outwards from this egg.
Oh no. That should have been able to hold 500 pounds. Oh god.
And it did until you released it.
Well, I was hoping that it'd be in the water by the time I release it, so it would just like sink.
Yeah, it sank pretty quickly.
Wow.
Which was why I asked if homunculus was going all the way down.
Oh god, I probably should have submerged him. There's literally nothing wrong with it. Apart from the fact that clay doesn't do good in water, question mark. I don't even know. Either way.
It's fine.
Yes, so you watch as this, what you assume to be X yolk, starts to swirl around the egg at the lower depths of this. Of course, nobody else has seen this.
Oh. Roland? There was a miscalculation.
Oh, what have you done?
The egg is broken.
Broke.
Yes. Now, I don't know how good Kraken sensors are, but
Well,
I don't think I don't think this place is safe anymore. We could flee.
Probably wise, yes. Ruin will rouse anyone who might have already been starting to get ready to bed down and just say, We should probably vacate the tower and make our way back into land.
What's happened? Why do we need to move back?
Torek broke a kraken's egg, so perhaps.
Oh, let's get moving sharpish.
Is the yolk floating to the top?
No, it is kind of just swirling around at the base.
That is weird. It should be a fat and flat to the top. I start scrawling in my notebook. Even
no
in
time for
in a
writing,
mistake.
Torek. We need to be going.
Yes, of course.
Usher
We're
him
gonna
up.
run him right. Run him right.
Okay, so you guys.
I recall homie.
Yeah, so you guys make your way to the top of the tower, and obviously the rope is still there to lower yourselves down. So you guys, it's not as hard to get down, so I'm not going to make you roll for that. And at the base, you kind of start to kind of make your way down into the onto this battlement and down. Whereas you kind of hear from the tower you were previously just in, you hear an incredibly high pitched screech. Very loud. There's no way this was made by a human. And it is just kind of heart-wrenching screech. Kind of sends shivers down your backs, but you can't see what made this sound.
Came from within the tower?
Within the tower.
Okay, we'll start making our way back through the grounds. And...
Going fast.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of pick up the pace a little bit here, and as you go, you kind of hear the distant rumble of thunder, and as you look back, you see lightning flash a few miles out to sea. The screech continues, and as you keep moving, this thunder gathers in intensity. And Rulin, as you cast one last look back, you see mounting the stairs a small figure, not too much larger than a humanoid, but you see them clad in what appears to be some form of segmented armor. And as you run, you notice a series of fins on their head, and as this creature watches you go, it lets out another of these long screeches. The thunder by now is drawing closer at a fairly alarming rate.
Is the creature pursuing?
No, it seems to be staying within the grounds of a castle. So as you guys put some distance between you and it, the trees eventually obscure your vision. And I'm imagining you guys are probably going to want to continue running through the night.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we haven't completed this. Are we going to want to go back and try and get it finished off tomorrow? Or is that our madness?
If there's a kraken involved, I mean...
We'll just put it on the notes part of our expedition for this job we're on. That's it.
Although we never did.
The big crab fella.
We never did discover why Alistair might have been so interested in this place.
To be fair, imagine what he could do with a few kraken.
So you guys continue your flight. The thunder is now kind of spreading over the immediate coast, and you can see various lightning strikes behind you. It seems they've picked up in intensity too. So you guys just keep on running, and you put some distance between you and it. Although you can't help wondering what exactly it is you have done. And that is where we're going to end tonight, I think. So, an interesting session. A few things happened that I wasn't really expecting of you.
We done fucked up again, haven't we? This is just another. This is another case of Koltara's statue.
We always lose something.
This is another case of Torek sort of making decisions that are gonna definitely make some people very mad at us.
It always ends with lightning in the sky for some reason.
Thunder and lightning and
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for coming.